you guys see that head of Xbox, Asha Sharma, kind of tweeted being like, yeah, I'm looking at the new Elder Scrolls right now. It's looking great. She wrote Elder Scrolls blank, but she like starred it. Like it almost looks like an expletive. Okay. So it's 8 letters. Elder Scrolls, insert subtitle. What do you guys think it is?
Redguard.
Redguard. Yeah. I mean, again.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I don't know that she would necessarily be that deliberate with the number of asterisks. Like it just could be she just randomly hammered the keyboard a random number of times. And
it looks like she wrote it just looks like Elder Scrolls F-bomb. My brain immediately just
they need
that.
Attention right now. They got to do everything they can. Just name it that by all means.
Positive attention.
I googled 8-letter words.
I have a couple. Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately I've got like the Elder Scrolls Vajazzle.
Yeah.
Damn you, AI. God damn.
Hang on. The Elder Scrolls Buzz Cuts.
No, here's a good one. Elder Scrolls Mountain. Because we saw a mountain in the first trailer. Mountains
7
confirmed.
years ago.
Right.
The Elder Scrolls
Right.
Blizzard is our top performing studio.
The Elder Scrolls Absolute. We can do Absolute Elder Scrolls. That would actually be pretty sick.
I still think Vajazzle.
Honestly, that series though would sell. I mean, comic book stores would get a nice little bump out of Absolute Skyrim. Like, fuck, man, that'd go hard.
My God.
Yeah,
Can you imagine? Oh, Jesus.
I got a good one. Game ranks.
There it is.
Smart.
It's Elder Scrolls Game ranks.
There it is.
Everyone will pronounce it Gamer Ranks though. That's
Gamer Ranks.
Gamer Ranks.
So can you imagine? She has to have the conversation, right? Of like, hey, Todd, can I have this tease for my Twitter account? Just like the discussion that had to be had that was just so nasty about just, let me get the attention for this one. Then you guys can have the attention for this one. It just feels gross, doesn't it?
I mean, yeah, like given the giant inflatable rat that was outside the studio.
Right.
You know what it's like? It's like it's really like how in war movies when they're all standing over the table and they're pushing the warships with the little sticks and they're planting flags. That's what it is. It's like this person's going to tweet Elder Scrolls. Now this person's going to show off a new controller.
God.
Yes.
Yeah. It just like the anti-hype for me.
What do you mean?
It's just like, oh, I saw the game, it still looks great. And I was like, hey, you're the head of the fucking company. Of course you get to say that. You don't get to say it looks shite.
But also, I remember Phil Spencer being like, Perfect Dark rules! And like photos of him at the studio. So like, I don't know what it really means here, folks.
I don't know, man. It's almost as if it's all just marketing.
You can't trust the executives. It's just crazy, man. What kind of an era of history are we living in where you can't trust executives?
I don't know. That's the old history.
If you can't trust executives, who can you trust?
Yeah.
Exactly right. Who can you trust?
Us, the friendly neighborhood Friends Per Second.
That's right.
Hello, everybody. This is Friends Per Second, episode 102. If you missed our announcement from the last episode, podcast episode 100 does not exist. It will exist one day, but not right now.
Thank you to the people
special
who have emailed with suggestions, by the way. People have done that. And there have been some really good ones. So thank you for that. And if you have any more, keep them coming.
Yeah, a lot of them are like, hit me with a wiffle ball bat or something. Like, we don't want to do that. Like, send nicer suggestions, please.
Don't we?
We're going to get slimed. We'll do an audience event when we get slimed.
Katy Perry style. It has to be with that level of...
Yeah. I need to go back.
You got all these people will be like, this is for the Lost Judgment review. Bam! And then that's what I get.
Today we are joined by a special guest, Ben Hanson from MinMax. Ben, how are you, man? It's nice to see you.
Doing so great. Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here. I was trying to map... Was the last time I was on here Spider-Man 2 where I filled in for Jake? Maybe it's time after that. I forget. There's probably another time after that I'm forgetting, so forgive me. Yeah. But thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here again.
Always, man. It's been fantastic. What's been going on in the world of MinMax? Tell us.
Oh boy, a lot of whole stuff. Lots of interviews. We're gearing up for a big PAX panels. We're doing a couple different panels at PAX West. It's the first time going there in a big way.
Nice.
So we're gonna have like a trivia tower panel where the crowd actually compete and have some beat the geek sections. Like, all right, can you beat Jacob Geller in trivia about some of his favorite games? Like that type of thing. So I'm excited to hit that up in a big way. And then,
that's cool.
Yeah, we have a series called The Deepest Dive, which we call the best, most thorough discussion about games on the internet, where we take games and we break them up into multiple sections. And it's a big community game club type thing where we're podcasting about it, taking comment suggestions. And I don't know if you all have noticed, but we're like at the top of a roller coaster right now. And so we're doing a big September showdown and letting the
Right.
Patreon supporters at MinMax like vote to choose which September game we tackle in like this huge multi-part discussion, like, 12 hours of breaking apart either Wolverine, Control Resident, Onimusha, or Silent Hill. So trying to figure
What
out
about
which way the community's
Dawnwalker?
breaking.
Minecraft
Dawnwalker is
Dungeons 2, man. Minecraft Dungeons 2. Come on. Don't
Minecraft Dungeons 2. I know you're always beating that drum. It's right there.
Some respect.
Yeah, there's a couple of kind of like, oh god, the Metal Gear Solid Legacy Collection would be fun to do Metal Gear Solid 4, but like with that September, I can't be playing Metal Gear Solid 4 right now, Jake. I assume you're in the same camp.
Yeah, there's just so many games, but I will be checking it out just enough to complain about it or compliment it.
Yeah.
Wait, before we
sounds about right.
recorded, by the way, Jake just went, look what I've got on my desk, and just
Yeah, look, I just got a whole bunch of new Metal Gear toys.
Hell yeah.
Facebook
Show us one,
Marketplace.
please. Show the camera. Show the camera at least one. Come on.
Yep.
Vulcan Raven.
Excellent.
And for audio listeners, they're covered in lipstick marks. It's really unnatural.
No, actually, dust. The guy who sold them to me did not dust them off.
Oh.
Right.
Excuse me.
Are you going to make like a little, how they have kind of little Santa scenes with cotton balls for the snow? Are you going to recreate Shadow Moses with all those characters?
Island. Yeah, I might. So what I did was I have them all sealed in box, but I wanted them out of box to display, so that's why I got these. So I will do a whole diorama. I might do it for Christmas.
You should.
Oh, that'd be so
I'm sure
fun.
she'll love that. Yeah.
She will. You should give it to her as a gift. Look what I made for you, honey. Look what she
ta-da.
said. Can you film that, please? Put that on TikTok. It'll do numbers.
Jake also said the dog got to, who was it?
Oh, he got unfortunately he got to Revolver Ocelot.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So
But it's
Revolver
okay.
Ocelot, he's got a hole in his head. Like literally, but it's okay because I have 4 of him.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard. I've got backup ocelots.
It's the collector's life, man. We have a lot of video games to talk about this week. You guys have been playing a lot of stuff.
Hashtag gaming.
Yeah. So with that, I think we should just start kicking it off, yapping about games.
Yeah.
There's been quite a bit. I think maybe we should rip the Band-Aid off and just start with Beasts of Reincarnation, Ralph. We should just get this out of the way.
All right.
We'll go to the older stuff first. The older stuff being the game that came out last week.
Yeah.
Because it feels like 60 things are coming out a week right now.
It's already evaporating from my brain as we speak. So
That's so
quick.
true. So Ben, did you play this one?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, right. And Lou, you didn't play it at all, did you?
No, but
Okay.
I loved the original trailer. I remember when I first saw it, Hey, Princess.
When you were a little
Right
toddler.
when I saw it back a few years ago. I'm a big, obviously, fan of Okami, and so I liked the similar kind of vibes. Wolf in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
is
that's me. Big Princess Mononoke guy. And I was like, oh, cool. It's kind of like that. No, it's not.
Oh,
Definitely not at all.
what would you liken it to?
Do you like Stellar Blade?
I've never played it.
Okay, well, imagine if you will, Stellar Blade, but not as good.
Way worse in every way.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like Stellar Blade was kind of a photocopy of Nier, and then this is a photocopy of a photocopy when the photocopier
copy
is
of a
actually
copy,
like
so you
on the
would-
fritz, and it needs like its ink cartridge changed over, and like the power turns up like halfway, and all this sort of shit. Like it's not good, man. Unfortunately, and like yeah, I don't know. So Jake, you played through it, didn't you?
Yeah, I was pretty lukewarm on it. I feel like if you play it on Game Pass and you're really just like a game where you're like a cool anime person, like I still think some people are going to be like, no, I like it enough, but no, for me, I got bored. It felt bland. It starts kind of interesting, but I found myself kind of, I don't know if it was just me, but I found myself kind of hooked at the start because I kept playing, waiting for something cool to happen. And I kept kind of pursuing that. I don't know why the air of mystery to the game, it kind of felt like I was on the cusp of something. And then that nothing never came.
Yeah. So that nothing never came. Nice. No, I totally agree. Look, I mean, just as a bit of background for this one, if anyone is not familiar with it, yeah, imagine something very adjacent to Nier Automata or Stellar Blade. You play a sort of anime woman, cyborgy kind of character with a dog companion, and it's very action combat, but you can pause combat at any time to sort of queue up attack commands for your dog, and they'll do damage and they'll heal you and they'll apply status effects and whatever else. It is a semi-open world game where you're sort of exploring a number of hubs. It's very story-driven. unfortunately, because the story here is just unbelievably painful in terms of the way that it's told, with some of the most boring characters you will ever encounter. And it's just, I think Game Freak looked at the sort of near slop category, okay? Near Automata and Stellar Blade, and they're like, we're inspired by that.
Near slop.
That's right. That's my phrase. I own it, okay? Anyway, so they saw this and they're like, we can do that too. We're inspired by it. Let's have a crack. And I do think that there was like an earnest effort here to try for something like that. Like, I don't think this is like a cynical product or whatever. But I also think that in every aspect, it just doesn't deliver. Like, for example, and you'd be probably surprised to hear this, but the game will run you like 20 hours. But there's a good stretch of like 5 or 6 hours where you're actually just repeating, like you're killing bosses you've already killed earlier, and they're exactly the same bosses. So you'll go through a full level, and at the end there's a boss, and you're like, oh, it's this guy. He must have some new attacks or whatever, but he doesn't. He's like exactly the same as before. He just has more hit points this time, and you got to do it again. The level towards the
problem too with those bosses, a lot of those bosses that you kind of repeat, they all kind of have similar attack patterns. They all kind of do a big left, right, and you have to parry the left, right.
Yeah.
And it's just like, all right, that's the problem, is that most of it just feels undercooked. Like, I wanted to like this one.
Yeah,
I really wanted to like it. Yeah. Sorry, Ben?
Well, just thinking about, who is it for? And it seems like, hey, Game Freak fans, they're going all out. They're trying something different. Let's support it. It's them trying to make a big AAA production. And then I feel like Pokemon fans will see it and they'll be like, I want Pokemon to look that good. F this game. I just feel like I'm happy they're trying.
Is that it doesn't look good. It looks really blurry.
Oh yeah.
God.
It's like low res for some reason. I don't know what is going on.
Yeah. It's very strange that this is published by Fictions, who emerged from the ashes of like the Annapurna walkout. So it's this team of publishing it. But what I'm curious about is, why does Game Freak need a publisher? They have more money than God. So
well, also, I wonder, because it was originally Private Division.
Say again?
Yeah. It was originally Private Division. And so Fictions swooped in when Private Division and bought most of their catalog.
Yes.
The only thing they didn't get was No Rest for the Wicked. But so I just wonder if it's maybe like like they wanted a bigger foothold in the West. Because I guess Private Division would have been attractive as a publisher at that point because owned by Take-Two. Yeah, they're more boutique label. So
it's very interesting though, because
it's Take-Two by association.
It feels though like, because I was into Private Division and some of the choices that they made, but this feels distinctly like one of Private Division's misses, because there was something about the misses that Private Division had. Like, you mean
Tales of the Shire was one of the hits?
Tales of the Shire, but like also the Marcus Leto first-person shooter, like
Disintegration.
The monkey one, the Petri Desolé monkey one.
Ancestors,
like, it feels more like that. Yeah, it just, for some reason, it just feels like that. Like, it just feels kind of muddled and undercooked and just bland. I hate to keep using that word, but that's what comes to mind.
And Ralph, you talk about how they have more money than God, than Arceus himself. But you got to remember, it's such a weird split for the Pokemon license, right? Where Pokemon Company is kind of managing all this stuff. Like, technically, Game Freak owns a third of Pokemon, along with Nintendo and Creatures. But then they created the Pokemon Company to kind of manage all that stuff. And so I've been lucky enough to visit Game Freak a couple times. And what stands out is like, it kind of feels like a smaller, they pride themselves on being an independent studio with smaller teams. And it is just this feeling of, grab people by the shoulders and be like, where's the money going? Where is the Pokemon money going? And I don't think it's a matter of, they're begging for it and aren't getting it. I mean, my impression, at least from visiting for, I guess, Sword and Shield was the last one, was like they kind of prided themselves on having smaller teams. And I don't think they were saying, give us a budget of 400 million or we walk,
Yeah. There's even been this discourse though about this one, about it like being outsourced. I couldn't verify any of that. Like, I haven't read up on that, but there is something of that, like where it's like Game Freak's idea and then they kind of got some mercenaries for it.
It's actually funny that discourse pops up quite a bit. Like, definitely saw a lot of that discourse with Halo as well. And I couldn't verify that, the degree to which Halo Campaign Evolved was outsourced, but definitely saw tons of that. And I don't know how often that seems to be popping up more and more as a point of criticism. Like, oh, this isn't really that studio, it's the outsourced team. And it's like, well, is it though? I don't know. Like, I'm not saying it isn't. I don't actually know. All I know is that I can't verify one way or the other,
Yeah, you also barely know like what anyway, like who were working on. Like I barely know who Game Freak is because their Pokemon games have just felt a certain way for so long. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
I was wanting more from this one because I like what it sets up. I like the way some of the worlds look. I like the idea of the vines, and the more you do combat and the more you access these abilities, the more plants pop up in the environment and you can kind of grapple to those plants to get an aerial advantage. Like there are some cool combat ideas. The dog is cool. It's kind of rooted in a little like Expedition 33 spell casting almost. But unfortunately I just got painfully bored. And I usually have a pretty good stomach for that. But I was like, oh, this is so repetitive. There's only a handful of enemy types, which for a combat-based game, I think is like a brutal miss.
Yeah, I think for me personally, and I said this in kind of the news show, but I'm like, the worst sin a game can commit at this point is to waste my time. Because like,
boring and waste your time.
It's just like, I don't have time to waste, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there are so many great games, right? And if I ever feel like a game is actively wasting my time, I'm just like, oh, I'm so fucking mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this, I think, is just wasting my time a lot of the time because as another example, like the levels towards the back end of the game, they're really just kind of these weird corridors where you can kind of just like run past the enemies if you want to.
Yeah.
There's nothing really to explore or do. It's just space where they could just drop enemies, and that's all it is. And it's kind of like, well, why does this level exist? It doesn't add anything. It's not really. It's just so all of that, and with the repetitive bosses and the storytelling. Oh man, we don't even have time to get into how bad the
slow paced.
Wait, so hang on. What's wrong with the story? It's just like super slow, or is it?
You described it really well, Ralph. It was like sentimentality. It's trying to build.
Oh, it's too earnest.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to frame it. Like, like imagine, there's a little girl who sort of cooks for you and she's like, oh, I'm so unsure of myself. Do you like my meal? And then Singer's like, yeah, I like it.
Long
like,
pause.
Oh,
I do.
That's good, exactly. And then imagine that conversation happens like 15 more times. But imagine it happens in like the slowest pace possible. Like we're talking, to say what I just said would take them like, 90 seconds plus. And then just ad nauseum. And the whole
better
thing
in Japanese. I played in Japanese.
I played in Japanese as well. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you notice that the guy, I forgot the guy's name already. Gary,
Brad.
Brad. Oh, Brad. Brad's voiced by Solid Snake.
I didn't know that.
Snake.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that. All right. Yeah.
That was a highlight. You take what you can get.
But no, just terrible. And like very tropey storytelling in terms of like this anime girl. It's like, oh, friend, what does the word friend mean? What does ocean mean? I've never heard of the ocean before. Okay. It's just like, why has no one heard of the ocean? Why is that the thing that everyone is surprised to learn about, So yes, no, unfortunately, not great. And look, it's sitting at 55 positive on Steam.
Yeah.
I think look, as I think Jake put it right. Like, if you play it on Game Pass, you play it for a few hours. I think you've seen the best the game has to offer in that first couple of hours. It's a curiosity tour. And then you can be like, cool, done. I've seen it. I know what this is. I'm going to move on now.
Yeah.
I think if, it is going to hit with some people who are maybe subscribed to that vibe and they really want to like it and they kind of push past all those issues and choose to like it. But I don't think this is a game that naturally invites many people to like it because unfortunately it's just not very good. So
a lot of roadblocks. Yeah.
A lot of roadblocks.
Roadblocks, not Roblox.
I was just thinking a lot of Roblox. Okay.
Right. I agree. It should have been a Roblox game. We all
should have been a Roblox game. Yeah. Game Freak could have really saved some money doing that. Yeah.
It's the future. Game Freak, get on it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Let's talk about an awesome game. Ben, you've been playing a certain fighting game.
Yeah. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. Has anybody else dabbled?
No, not yet. I have it downloaded, but I haven't had a chance to dip my toe in.
Okay.
So first of all, tell us, are you a fighting games guy?
Oh, this is the question I've been scared of my entire life. No.
Okay, so, fine.
Now here's the thing. I was prepping myself as I was playing it. Like, how do I explain this? And it's like, think bare minimum fighting game knowledge going in as a fresh babe in the woods. Okay. And then I was thinking about it. I'm like,
beaten up online.
Yeah, just get crushed. Just a baby crying for mercy. Then again, I'm like, well, hang on. Like Tekken Tag was one of my favorite PS2 games. Like that's the thing. Really? I own a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet, one of those arcade 1-up things. And so I play a lot of that. And so it's like complete idiot's perspective. but I like the idea of fighting games, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is one of my favorites, you know? So
you
that's
have more experience than you're giving yourself credit for.
Okay, you could 1v1 me right now with you could have your eyes closed, and you would still beat me. It's that level.
Well,
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So here's the thing. I think it's intimidating. You see Arxis, you know, Guilty Gear Strive, one of the best looking games of all time. Talented team. Dragon Ball FighterZ also I loved. I don't know, did you guys get into Dragon Ball FighterZ at all?
Yeah, they're maniacs.
I
They
played
make
a bit
great
of that actually, and I quite enjoyed it. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so it's like they have their approachable side. And so I was worried about where in the spectrum this was going to be, because when it was announced, it's like, hey, we're making a tag fighter with Marvel. This is awesome. 4 characters on your team. And so already it's like, this is going to be intimidating. And it was really refreshing to jump in, and it was just kind of wave after wave of, this isn't so bad. You shouldn't be scared at all, everybody. Right. If you got into Dragon Ball FighterZ and you like pressing a couple buttons and some crazy moves happen, some auto combos happen, I think you'll be just fine. And so on the 4-player per team thing specifically, it's not even that. It'll start you out just with like 2 characters. Like when you're choosing your characters, you're choosing all 4. But then when you go into the match, you just have 2. And then it'll slowly trickle in more and more that you can use if you want to. But the big wrinkle and a huge difference here is it's shared health pools. Right?
So it's 1 health bar?
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So really, you could just choose one character you want to get really good at, and then just, hey, hit the X button every once in a while and have an assist from a cool looking character, and you could be fine if you wanted to. But if you want to keep training and try and get good with 4 or beyond, swap around, then you're set there. Because you unlock a new character on your team every time there's like a stage break. So if you get knocked to a new arena, you knock another person to a new arena, then you get another character. So it kind of slowly trickles out. But sometimes you'll have matches where you'll just have the 2v2. And then the story mode, there's matches where it's just 1v1 as well. So don't be too intimidated by this game overall is a big take here.
So the character thing is almost like it's like a fight pacing thing as well?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it helps change it up, you know? And then you can do some crazy powerful moves if you have all 4 characters. You know, if the other character, the other opponent is at like game point, you can do some huge super move that'll bring it back. And so like they know what they're doing. They're trying to make it big and flashy. And every character has their own special ability on R1. And so you use that, you're going to be doing cool stuff. And then it's a little bit like Smash. You can hit R2 in a direction, some cool stuff will happen. It's pretty friendly on that front. That being said, it is still a fighting game, and they have a lot of good tutorials in here. But it is that fighting game feeling. I don't know if you all have had this, where it's like, all right, I'll play some fighting game tutorials. And then they're like, okay, just one more thing. Okay, now there's 13 more things over here. Okay, now go to this section. Okay, there's 20 more things over here. It'd be nice if you learned if you want to.
And you're not doing the input exactly to time, so we're going to have to do it all again.
Right. But yeah, I've been having a good time with it. It looks so damn good. I think the character designs are great. I really like the roster. I think it's really fun. It's a nice sign for a fighting game like this where you jump in, you think you know who you're going to go for. Where it's, oh, okay, I guess I'll dabble with Spider-Man. It's like, wait, no, Storm's right there. I think she'd be really cool. And then like, oh, wait a minute, Green Goblin is in this for some reason, and he's now my favorite. He's so fun and absurd, and he can just fly around, you know, whatever he wants to. It's a really cool cast here.
All right, so who's your top 3?
I would go Green Goblin. I would go Penny Parker is kind of fun, like in the big mech. That's for something a little funky. And then Miss Marvel. I'll always be a sucker for Miss Marvel. Just having embiggen moves in there as she's flying around. It's pretty sweet.
And so they all have a lot of complexity to them, right? Like I saw people doing crazy stuff with Deadpool.
Yes. And Deadpool's, believe it or not, this Deadpool cat, he's kind of funny. Where like he has so many references to other fighting games, including like other Arxis games.
That's
in
cool.
here. Like one of his intros that he comes out with, he just does Cell's complete intro from Dragon Ball FighterZ, like like charging up like the exact same animations and stuff. So like, it's a good time, you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I'm playing on PS5. It should be noted, they're still frantically patching it, but the PC version is rough. Like do not get it at this point on PC.
Apparently the latest patch did fix that quite a bit though.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. I just saw like Maximilian Dude, he like uninstalled it on his stream where he's like, I've had enough of this.
Wow.
I'll come back later. Just to go play on PS5, you know?
Big deal. Yeah, that's a big statement, I suppose. Yeah, sure.
Uninstall.
So the story stuff, like how many hours of story content are on offer? Do you know?
It's a good question. So it's called like episode.
Okay.
And it's kind of a wonky structure to it where I was confused how thorough is going to be. And the idea is there's kind of like 10 story chapters, but amongst 4 or 5 different teams. So you can choose like, okay, I want to play with the X-Men storyline or kind of the Spider-Man adjacent storyline, stuff like the Avengers storyline. But it's all just different comic book panels for the same main story.
I see.
So the main story has like a nice animated opening of like, hey, this guy called the Champion is coming and trying to challenge everybody in a great duel on Earth, right? And so it has like shared cutscenes, and then it'll just be individual comic panels showing that team's story. And maybe a little bit of Beast of Reincarnation style. Like the pacing on the panels for the comic book presentation is really slow.
Okay, right.
It's not great. I'm not loving it so much. You can kind of hit X and go through it and kind of read it like a comic book. But if you just sit back and try and watch it like a little animated movie, it's pretty slow and awkward. And I'm somebody who I suffered through all of Dragon Ball FighterZ storyline because I love Dragon Ball, and I'm like, I want to know what they do with this Android 21. What is going on here? And that was kind of a 0 for me as well. Yeah. So maybe just ArcSys story stuff is not my cup of tea.
Yeah, okay, interesting. I mean, I love the look of it. I've just been wanting to play it. I actually got a PC code, and then I specifically haven't played it yet because of how balked it was. And then obviously I've been working on a bunch of stuff as well. But I've been really keen to jump into it, and I definitely expect to get my ass kicked. I really just expect to play the story stuff and then dabble online and be like, okay, yep, cool. I can't do anything. I'm terrible. And then just be like, all right, cool. How's that?
Put me back in my place.
I think that's it.
I'll leave it now.
And,
they definitely have they have other modes in there that you can try and dabble with if you want to experiment a little bit, Okay. They have great training. The character lesson stuff where it's character specific training is really helpful. Yep. And there's also modes in there called Rumble Arcadia, where you're just a little chibi version of the characters in 3D running around this environment. And it's kind of was it Smash Run? We're just going around like a Smash Bros, getting different power-ups and then building up to a battle. A little bit like Kirby Air Riders as well. It was just the most unexpected thing in here. But I guess that's kind of an ArcSys thing, is to have kind of the chibi hub-looking environment. But I did not see that coming at all.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
I just think every fighting game needs the round set up like Soul Calibur does, where it pans around the arena and it says 2 souls collide, only one warrior will reign victorious. More of that. Every game needs that. I want the Marvel version of that.
There's
certain Soul Calibur
still burns.
Yeah, where's that Soul Calibur at? It's been a little while.
I haven't seen one for 15 years.
I would be day one on a new Soul Calibur intro.
I would be too. That's the one I really
love Soul Calibur. That was always my go-to fighting game, because I guess I got it in the Dreamcast and the visuals melted my brain at the time. I'm like, there's no way this game can be real. Look how good this looks. It's impossible that any video game could ever look better than this.
And now I could play as Yoda too. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Or the Todd McFarlane character.
Yeah, exactly. That was sick. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, Link.
Yeah, they've got plenty of cheese in this though, Jake. I mean, if you're just looking for cheesy presentation, because it is the most Dragon Ball Marvel will ever get, where Captain America is doing a huge finisher and he'll yell out, "This is a battle for the American dream!" as he's flying. It's it's exactly up your alley, man.
It's like Marvel Rivals all over again. The thing that drove me nuts about Marvel Rivals was they had the Punisher and he's like, I'm no hero. I'm the Punisher. When you click on him, okay, buddy. All right.
In case you forgot. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Man. So have other people in the Min-Max squad been playing it as well, or just you?
Jacob Geller has. We're going to talk about it on the Min-Max show tomorrow. And then our production assistant, Nick Stefanacci, is also a big fighting game fan. He hosts tournaments over in New Jersey and stuff. And so I'm curious to hear his take on the next episode. But yeah, I've been enjoying it. And it's cool to see Sony getting behind a fighting game in a big way like this. I know they own Evo. They have their fight sticks that have been delayed and stuff. But yeah, it's just fun to see, one of the big three leaning into it in a big way here.
I agree with that. I mean, obviously Nintendo has their fighting game. They certainly don't support it with an esports scene. That's a whole thing. But yeah, I mean, I think it's nice that Sony has a fighting game that they're really kind of swinging their weight behind, and they can help build a community because they've got the infrastructure for it with Evo. Xbox doesn't really have. I mean, they had
Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
Now it's going to be Soul Calibur.
Yes, they should buy the rights, bring it back.
No.
And then, and then obviously, I'm not going to say that.
We're going to say Dead or Alive.
No, I was going to say they'll release it and then they'll just sack all the staff who made it. That's what they'll do.
Man.
That's what they'll do.
God. Dead or Alive beach volleyball. That'll be it. Just do that again.
100%.
Next up, Lucy, you have played Onimushia.
Yeah,
This is your first experience with Onimushia, or have you played this one?
I've never played another Onimushia game, but this is like the third time that I've played this Onimushia at various preview events.
We have talked about it quite a bit. So
we have, and I will say honestly,
your new takeaway?
Well, half of the demo that we played was what Jake and I played at Summer Game Fest. So
with the weird hands guy, the weird
hands
boss
guy,
yeah, who like cuts fingers off and stuff,
hands and teeth guy,
yeah. He was. I mean, I think that's still a really cool boss fight, and it's always the one that I still struggle with, just because it's like I don't know. I think they tweaked a bunch of the balancing. Because previously when I was playing at Summer Game Fest and I was walking through the environments trying to find my next objective, all of the little grunts along the way were so easy, and they have definitely, I think, popped that up a little bit.
Oh, interesting.
The boss fight still, I don't know, I think it requires you to play in a very specific way, and I sort of was trying to experiment more with it, and then it was like, no, just deflect and then you're fine, girl. And then I deflected and I was fine. It delved into a bit more of the story side of things. So all of the Genma, and you actually meet the woman that's in your hand, in your gauntlet.
Yeah.
And you kind of find out a little bit about her story. Yeah, where she's come from, and who exactly is in hell and releasing all the Genma into the world. I will say, and I've said this before, played it in Japanese.
Yeah.
And I think that is a much better way of doing so. But overall, it's also
the only
like
way of doing so with this game. It's the only way. Like this, the English voice track is so bad. Not because
it doesn't align. It just sounds like he was told that he's in a different game.
Yes.
Which seems like an issue. Yeah.
But I will say, like, the things that really stick out to me, performance, like facial capture is really great as well. Like he makes little micro movements where he's like, dude, like there's so much of that. There's so much personality in him. But also there's so much space for customization, build crafting, upgrading, like your charms and stuff. There was a bunch of that in this build. So there's a system a little similar to Silent Hill F, right? When you go to the little shrines and you can basically like put blessings forward or like ask for things, like give favors, and then you get those favors, and then you can use those to increase how powerful your charms are. And some of them are like, hey, you just increase your healing a little bit more. And I get the feeling that there's a lot of mixing and matching you can do in there. There are so many combos in, like, I was kind of amazed. So I was sat next to Max Blumenthal on one side, and then next to him was one Stu Kimball from the Skill Up.
I've heard of that guy.
The goat.
So Max, I brought up on the show before, is that Max is like a pro Zelda player. Like he's unbelievably good at Legend of Zelda, a very like mechanically minded person, and I just saw him pouring through the skill trees and pouring through all the movements and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, there's going to be some really sick stuff that I feel like Max will be able to do. So I think there's a lot of exciting stuff in there. There's a lot of mastery, and overall it's just like it's just good.
Yeah.
I was having a real fun time with it. It's kind of screwing me over that it's coming out, and then there's Dawnwalker, and then there's Fire Emblem, and then there's Wolverine, and then everything is coming out like in such short trip, because it feels like there's so much to do in Onimusha. Yeah. But I really enjoyed that time with it. And like that's the thing, is I almost didn't go to that preview event because I was like, there's nothing more you can show me that wouldn't already get me on side. And lo and behold, I came out with it feeling the same way. Very positive.
Do you have any remaining questions or potential sticking points? Because for me, it's once we got a sense that there is a little bit more of like an open area, I'm just hoping that the side stuff is interesting, because it seems like a lot of the side stuff is giving you little sub stories. I just feel like that could go either way. Yeah, there wasn't too much of that actually. It was more just sort of main mission stuff. But yeah, not long to wait, less than a month. So
I feel like, the one thing I'm curious about is, I mean, I don't know if I'm misremembering Onimusha, but like I remember it feeling like Resident Evil, but with a samurai sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one especially. Yeah.
Yeah, I played the first one for the first time just last year, and that was my big takeaways. Oh my God, it's so much more Resident Evil than I thought. And also it's so much sillier than I thought. And so I hope the new one even has some of that silly
There's still some,
vibe.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
some goofiness for sure.
The guy is silly. He's way sillier than Samanosuke.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
good.
But I wonder, because like as I played through it and as I've seen stuff, it doesn't look or feel like Resident Evil this time around. This feels like a kind of more contemporary action game, you know? And I wonder if, I don't know, I think this is going to be good. I have no doubt this game's going to be good, right? But I do remember that feeling of like Resident Evil, but with a samurai sword being really fucking cool. And I wonder if I'll kind of miss that when I play through this whole thing and being like, what if we slowed this down a bit more? And what if like there was a bit more horror to it? And, you know, what if it was, I guess more deliberate with its pacing and combat and whatever. I don't know. That as I said, I have no doubt this will be good, but I do fondly remember those old Onimusha times. And this seems to be quite a different product with like a different vision for the future of Onimusha that's closer to the sequels than that original. So yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, it's giving more of like the Jean Reno one.
Yes.
Where it's just like weird and crazy.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But what I like though, at least in terms of harkening back to the original, some of the enemy types just give the feel of the original enemy types. Like with they have the kind of hat-like shaped head. Also, when you would strike enemies in the original, it always made this like weird squishy screamy noise, and I feel like it still has that. So there's definitely some stuff that harkens back. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm very curious to see what this new identity is actually going to be.
Yeah. And I hope they have a little side mode that's like that Onimusha Smash Brothers game. Do you remember that on PS2? No. They made like a Onimusha platform fighter on PS2.
Oh my god!
Yeah. What the hell is that thing called?
Onimusha something. What?
Blade Warriors.
Blade Warriors.
Yeah. It existed,
God.
folks. It existed. The Blade Warriors.
I've not played this, but I remember this box from working in retail. That is actually my relationship with so many games, where I've never played a game, but I'm like, I know that box, 100%. You know.
Yep. I
what if the guy
at
from
that.
the first one fought the guy from the second one?
Take my money.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool.
For me this week, I've been doing a lot of.
Sorry, Jake. Sorry. Speaking of take my money. Maybe we should throw to one of our sponsors.
Okay.
This episode is brought to you by DeleteMe. Now, I'm a very online person, but that doesn't mean that I want all of my business out there. I want to protect my privacy online, and that is why I use DeleteMe. Because did you know that data brokers can legally collect and sell all types of personally identifiable information, like your name, address, phone number, names of your relatives, and sell it to anyone who kind of asks for it? That's kind of creepy, right?
Yeah, it's not good, but thankfully, DeleteMe is a hands-free subscription service that removes your personal information from hundreds of those data broker places and people search sites. It reduces the risk of your valuable data getting into the wrong hands. It's something you definitely don't want. But Lucy, you've been using DeleteMe for quite some time now, so is it easy to get going and set up?
I can't believe how easy it was. Like, I mean, genuinely, I know this is an ad, but I got up and running it with DeleteMe in minutes. All I had to do was put my information in, check a few boxes, make sure everything was right, and it just started putting together these reports, acting on my behalf to get all of this information off these websites that I don't want it to be on. And then at the end, after a little bit, it sends me, because it's an ongoing process, but after it's done enough removals, it sends me this big, cool report and tells me like all the places that it's checked, all the places it's taken my information from, and crucially, how much time it has saved me. And obviously, like, we're big fans of it. We're very thankful that it's sponsoring the podcast. But it's not just us. Wirecutter has been named it as the leading expert for years. And so, you know, if you don't trust us, trust Wirecutter.
So you can get 20% off DeleteMe consumer plans when you go to joindeleteme.com/friends and use promo code friends at checkout, or use the QR code on screen here if you're watching the video version. Again, that is joindeleteme.com/friends and use code friends. Check it out, and big thanks to DeleteMe for sponsoring this podcast. All right, we're back. Thank you. With that, I got a quick one. For me, it's been like update week.
Update day for the Wii shopping
It's
channel.
been update day for Jake. I played some Crimson Desert, tiptoed around in Crimson Desert quite a bit.
How's that?
It's still Crimson Desert, which I am partial to, but it's still messy, and honestly, it's hard to just jump back in. Like, I got 2 days scheduled to just check out what's updated, since I haven't really played too much since after launch.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming to go back in. But what I did was I had a save that was like 10, 15 hours in.
Okay.
To kind of get a little bit of a rough sense of some of those early bosses and stuff like that. And then I also had one of our guys who works on the team who never played. He just started the game up from zero, and I asked him a bunch of questions. Just so a lot of it is unchanged in terms of like the intro. He still very much was like the beginning of the game, like what is going on? And like, what are these puzzles? But for me, it's more the nuanced stuff that I got to experience. The movement controls feel a little different. Stamina, the base level stamina is a little bit more generous. The bosses now are not these insane cheese fests. I redid the boss. What was he? The Reed Devil?
He was okay.
He was more reasonable.
Yeah.
He
was that lightning boss. It was that lightning boss, and also the one inside the little chapel or whatever. Yes. You were just like, fuck off. That was ridiculous.
Yeah. So some reasonability there. It's a little better. The game also has difficulty modes now, which is very cool that it didn't, and then they just implemented easy, medium, and hard.
Okay.
There's also like the inventory stuff was fixed early on, but that's very noticeable. Like the inventory was really difficult early on. Now you have a lot more space. You have your own storage. The UI is just better when you're going through your items, when you're going through your quest documents, your key items. All that is much better now. They added, I only was able to dabble in it a little bit, but they added like a full in-depth trading system now. So they added like hundreds of different types of trade good items that you can then essentially wheel and deal with, and then like use wagons, load up wagons. But now there's all this optional wagon stuff going on. So they are adding a lot, and I think it still feels like Crimson Desert. Like if you just wasn't into Crimson Desert, you're still going to be like, no, not for me. But I just think it's very impressive the amount of updates, how quickly they've been implemented.
Yeah. I mean, if it's
one might
MMO
argue
too.
that it should have been a little more play tested, because there was some shit where it's like, why is this like this?
Yes.
But I think that speaks to the power of like the rest of the game just being so endearing and so interesting that it was able to power through that. But I like how they're updating it. And I think if they continue that pace, like honestly, I think in a year, the game is going to be even more significantly different.
Yeah. Do you guys like, so Chris, Ben, did you play this one?
Chris does it?
Started it, yeah. We started it, was perplexed, but kind of had a good time with it. It was a game where I was like, you know what? I'm going to make my own fun. I'm going to absolutely do the Asha Sharma Elder Scrolls move. I'm going to look at a mountain and go to it. And I had a freaking blast, at that level. And then it seems like everything beyond that was dragging people down and frustrating.
That's how I felt about Dragon's Dogma too.
Yeah.
Very similar games, I think, actually, in many ways. Yeah, for sure.
I'll tell you, they didn't fix the story.
That is unfixable, man. That is unfixable.
John Desert.
John Desert.
Tales of John Desert.
I wonder, how do you guys feel this has aged in sort of like the popular discourse? Like, are you feeling like people are speaking about it more kindly or more harshly since its release?
I think it's kind of like a dirty secret. I think people are like, by the way, I'm really into Crimson Desert. I don't know if you guys have any buddies that just like, I'll play any new open world game. And I just feel like it landed with that audience. And I think when we get around to the Game Awards, Lucy, you know this, what is it? The Player's Choice category? Is this just going to crush it? It's just going to have that groundswell this year?
Only gacha games.
I'll host that one.
Beast of Reincarnation.
You're in the circle.
At Jeff.
That's right.
I'm available.
Yeah. It is, then to your point, for me, it is very much like when I talk to people in real life, what are you playing? A lot of people I've just had conversations with are like, I'm working through Crimson Desert.
Yeah.
It definitely
it's like an
an
oddity for people.
Yeah. Opinions are like, because that thing is like, you have those people and you're like, oh, I know I get the Assassin's Creed every year, I get like The Witcher or something, but it's like, it's nice to see something new.
Agreed.
Yeah. Crimson Desert is like, what if Assassin's Creed Odyssey was fucked up?
And somehow longer. So no, I actually just like, as time's gone on, like I have more affection for this game than less, because again, like there's this studio that made this big ass game that they just like threw it all at this title, and there's no like in-game spending and there's no bullshit, no like battle pass or whatever else. Like it's just a straight up honest video game, and they built their own like engine to do it, and they packed it full of as much stuff as they could possibly fit, like too much stuff in fact, that the game was sort of overstuffed as a result, and a lot of it didn't land, but a lot of it really did. And ultimately though, there's just this big massive world that you can wander around in and be surprised by constantly. And I love that. Like in my review, I was like, this feels like Skyrim in the sort of energy that it has, and what you're discovering, and the sort of the sights and sounds and little secrets and how intricate it all feels. And I loved it, to be honest with you. I really did. And I'm really glad to see that they've kind of stuck with it and they're building on it. And I think it's a testament to their kind of like ethos as a studio, where they put this game out very earnestly. And that means a lot for me personally in this current era, where there's like, it feels like a lot of stuff's going out that doesn't feel particularly earnest and doesn't feel motivated in the right way, So I liked it despite its numerous issues. And I'd actually would love to go back and check it out again in a little while when I get some time to see what
I would actually recommend waiting significantly longer, because I think it's a good pace. Okay. And I almost kind of was like, ooh, I see what they're doing. It's a good cadence of updates, but like I wish I waited a little longer, because I think it's only going to get better.
Yeah, right. Interesting. So. Okay. Cool. Yeah, good job, Pelbis. Well done.
Yeah. The only other quick update thing, I jumped into Ghost Recon Wildlands, which is celebrating like the Ghost Recon anniversary. It got updated for consoles for PS5, Xbox Series X. PC got somewhat of an update as well, and it's of course not running for some people, but right. Yeah, 4K 60. It's still a nice little dumb open world shooter. It's not my favorite Ghost Recon game, but I'm also like an old head, so I'm like, that's not. They don't make them like they used to. But if you want like open world drop in co-op where you can just tactical squad up and headshot guys, all the difficulty options, all the modifiers they added in, you can really make it super hardcore now. And I got it for like $2 on Steam. Nice. They added a new mission sequence. You can kill like an hour or two in that, depending on difficulty. Okay. Yeah, that's really it. It's nothing too exciting. I thought there was going to be more. Like we committed to a Game Ranks video without like looking into it. Right. And then I started playing it and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's all right. Yeah, there it is. They fixed the driving. So yeah.
Ghost Recon. The servers are still live for it. When was that game? Like 2014?
2017.
No, 2017. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a funny one. Because I actually noticed that my videos that I did on back in the day are like back in the algorithm, because I've been recommending them recently, and I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, there's an update. Fair enough. No wonder this has happened.
The original Game Ranks Ghost Recon Wildlands video has 3.4 million views. It's like,
oh my god,
that's
crazy. People love this shit. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, that's the thing. So what's interesting with this one, it was interesting to watch because I played it, I did the video, and I was like, yeah, it's like cool. It's like a third person tactical. It almost feels like a spiritual successor to like SOCOM US Navy SEALs on PS2. But it was very Ubisoft. It was just big open world, dumb story, kill all the quirky bad guys that all have their own personalities. Like, okay, whatever. But then as time went on, I'd say like a year or so after, the community really took to it. People realized like once you really crank the difficulty up and maybe even some mods or whatever people were doing, that people were loving it and just living in that world.
No, I definitely remember that as well, where the launch product came out and like normies experienced it. And then like the hardcore community like really sort of thought, okay, well, what do we do with this thing? And then they kind of
work with this.
They really like, there were definitely some mods. There was definitely some, as you said, approaches to difficulty and whatever else. And the community around it really stayed. Like they really liked it. And I'm not surprised that Ubisoft have made the decision to sort of revisit this one rather than Breakpoint.
That's it. Yeah.
Because like no one liked Breakpoint. That was terrible. That was
Breakpoint had a little bit of a moment too with the same type of thing, but I was like, no, I'm not going back to that. Yeah, I had some people being like, you can make it hard and tactical, but I was like,
I just remember that game being absolutely terrible. But yeah, Wildlands kind of had a weird sort of a charm to it. And it was fun in its own way. So it's nice that they've done that. It's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Well, speaking of what?
Oh wait,
no,
who's going for the segue? Who's going for the segue?
Speaking of tactical combat,
there he is.
Walk.
Big walk.
Hell yeah.
No, we'll talk next about Star Wars Zero Company. So, hands up, who's actually played this one at this point? Just me?
Just you.
Oh no, I haven't. No.
Oh, you haven't.
You played XCOM. This is ZCOM.
I got it confused. Yeah.
To be fair, though, I can understand that because if anyone's unfamiliar, Star Wars Zero Company is an XCOM-like in the Star Wars universe, and it's made by a studio called Bit Reactor, and they're made up of a number of former Firaxis employees, basically. Like there's a lot of overlap there. And also the writing is being led by the person who wrote the Respawn Star Wars games, Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order.
Aaron Contreras.
Yes, exactly.
Extremely
talented.
Good.
Say again, sorry?
I didn't know that. That's good.
Extremely talented person.
Yeah.
And you can absolutely feel it in this package. I think we could all very clearly picture a Star Wars XCOM game and be like, oh yeah, Star Wars, but XCOM, cool. There's there's blasters and tick, whatever else. But this thing is much more surprising than that on the presentation front. I would say the gameplay stuff is very much what you'd expect, right? It is like droids with blasters and, and gunslingers and throwing thermal detonators. And, you can force push people, because there are some Jedis in this, you can force push them into an Overwatch and all that sort of stuff. So that kind of stuff works. But it works extremely well because the people who have made it made XCOM and Midnight Suns, So it's simple. No, I wouldn't say simple actually. That's the wrong word. But it's faithful and familiar. It's faithful and familiar if you've played XCOM games. But the presentation layer that sits on top of this is like kind of wild. And I wasn't ready for this part of it because visually it looks fantastic. It's got this art style that's kind of like Clone Wars, but grown up, it's still stylized, but it has this kind of almost realistic looking stylized thing, which I know doesn't make sense. But trust me, when you see it, you'll get it. Facial animations are really detailed and just are fantastic. The performances from the voice actors is top tier. But I think it's really the writing that's grabbing me more than anything else. It just feels extremely crisply written. It's like a spy thriller kind of thing. And it sets the stakes at the right level. And, all the characters that you're sort of meeting with have sort of very transactional dialogue with them that really sets the scene, and it really fits the overall tone of what they're doing here. It's adult without being too adult or too dark. And it's a nice little original Star Wars story set during the Clone Wars era. And yes, you do bump into Anakin Skywalker, for example. Yeah. That's the thing that happens.
So I have a question about that, just the setup wise, because you're not necessarily just clone troopers or separatists. No. Like it's more of like a ragtag thing, right? What's the whole bunch?
You can have basically you play Zero Company, which is this sort of off the books independent outfit who the Republic are using because they want to kind of squash a problem without making too much noise. And the outfit is recruiting anyone that's going. So yeah, you will have astromechs that are part of your squad. You will have, former Republic commandos. You will have, just bounty hunters and Mandalorians and gunslingers and whatever else. Like it's the whole gamut. You know what I mean? And that's cool from a storytelling perspective. These people have different personalities and motivations, and the way they interact with each other is really nice. But also from a gameplay perspective, because obviously an astromech droid is going to play very different from a Jedi, but they're sitting on the same battlefield and they're all operating within the same combat framework. So I really love this a lot. I think this was super cool. I was, as I said, not expecting it to be surprising. I was expecting just a paint by numbers XCOM plus Star Wars, off you go. And as I said, I think it is that on the gameplay front, at least so far. But the presentation layer is really selling this for me. And I absolutely love my time with it. And I'm so excited for when that review code comes in. I'm just going to no life this game for however many hours straight.
How long did you spend with it?
It's probably the beta was 10-ish hours, I think, in that kind of ballpark. It wasn't a beta, sorry. It was a preview build. So yeah. In that sort of ballpark.
Where is you talk about the presentation layer, where is that? Is there kind of like a
good
strategy
question.
layer? Is there a hub where you're talking? Is it just cutscenes in between
It's a good
tactics?
question.
Or
Yeah, so there is a hub, like similar to XCOM games, they have like a hub, but this one is one you can actually walk around and you can walk up to people and be like, hey man, what's going on? And he's like, that last mission really sucked, huh? It really sucked how our buddy died. And he's like, yeah, that was a bummer. Anyway, man, good chatting with you. See you later. And then you go off and chat to the next person. You do base building there where you can build, like, for example, a droid bay. Then give you access to droids. That's where you do all your customization in terms of, new weapon loadouts and mods and skill tree stuff and whatever. But also the story unfolds during the missions. And this is another kind of innovation with this where, most XCOM games, you kind of just teleport to an active battlefield and then you teleport back to your base, right? Whereas this one, you'll teleport to a location and there can be some walking around before the mission starts where you're like talking to NPCs in the area being like, hey man, what's good? Yeah. And it's simple. It's not game changing, but it's a nice little kind of immersive layer that feels like you're stepping into a place, trying to figure out what's going on before you start fighting. And that does actually make and also sometimes when the conflicts end, the map just kind of, the camera pulls back and then you just like keep walking. So these maps that were a moment ago, like the combat spaces in a traditional XCOM game, now just become fully explorable 3D spaces that you can walk around in on your way to the next combat scenario, So
that's interesting.
Nice.
Just in terms of pacing and everything. Like
Does it
remove your limits then? Is it a matter of like you can move 3 units during combat, but outside you can move as many places as you want?
Just walk around. Yeah, because basically at that point you're just a character who walks around. There's no combat. You can't like fire a gun or anything then. Like all of that is disabled. So you're literally just a guy who walks and talks. But yeah, as I said, you walk up to the next place and chat with people and explore different pathways because at some point you might get blocked off and you need to go a different direction. As I said, I don't want to oversell this part of it because it's not like, it doesn't really change the game manifestly. It's just kind of an immersive layer that they've added to it that I think works really well. So yeah, it's
What about permadeath?
Oh yeah, that's still here. And so, if one of your party members dies, they're gone for good. If you enable it, and by the way, you can turn this off, which I know a lot of people don't like to play with that stuff. But what's interesting, second,
cowards, right? Cowards, all of them. Yeah,
totally. But what's interesting about this is that it's a very story-driven game, and main characters can die, and the way that the story will unfold will be impacted by whether or not they live or die. So that is a commitment that BitReactor have made. They were very clear on that during the briefing that we did. They're like, "Yep, this story will respond to your decisions, and also who is alive at the time when shit's going down." And I think that's going to be really hard for them to land, obviously, because if everyone around you is dead, I don't know how you have cutscenes that are just the main character talking to himself. Maybe he just starts monologuing Shakespearean style. I don't know. But,
there's that you can do. So like going back to Mass Effect, Jake and John Luke at GameSpot did a series called The Saddest Party in the Citadel, and they went through and killed or had as many of your party members die as possible.
Yep.
So they did the Citadel DLC where you have that one last party and it's just like no one's there.
That's great.
It's just like
that's great.
But look, I just think it's a really promising title. And I think also one little tidbit that I thought was fascinating was that the developers told us that, the guy who is leading this, his name's Greg Fortash, and he was formerly of Firaxis for 20 years. And then he left the studio to start his own thing. And he had this dream for this XCOM style game. And he was talking to people about it. And eventually Vince Zampella calls him. And they didn't know each other, by the way. It wasn't like Vince calling up one of his buddies, but Vince was like, hey, I've heard chatter about this game. Tell me about it. Greg tells him about it. And then Vince is like, hey, can we make this a Star Wars game? Do you reckon we could do that? And, that, and then, 5 or so years later, like it exists now, in part because Vince Zampella greenlit it. And I think obviously it's just another example of his vision as a game maker, like his ability to back the right horse and just like, yeah, man, just an absolutely undefeated track record. And I just thought it was nice that he was involved in this. And obviously it's sad reminder of his passing because, best to ever do it, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah, but it's getting wild with Galactic Racer.
Yeah.
And Zero Company out this year where it's like, two
Star Wars
kind of
back?
Yeah, in unexpected ways. Yeah. Not action
be a
games.
Star Wars weirdo like me.
They had a preview. I saw like IGN had a preview beat for Galactic Racer just like this week. Yeah. Some stuff was uploaded. Has anyone else played more of it lately? I haven't. No, okay.
Is it at Gamescom?
Probably. I don't know. I'm not at Gamescom, so yeah, I don't know. Probably.
I'll hunt it.
I'm looking forward to that though.
I too am looking forward to it.
God damn it. Lucy, you've been playing something called Servant of the Lake. What is this?
Yes. So Servant of the Lake is a point and click adventure, and I can't remember how I found it. I think I was trolling through Steam as I am wont to do.
Looking for .game.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah.
It's my newsletter. Yeah, just to find indies and stuff. And this one kind of the art style was something that really leapt out to me. And then it was like, oh, it's a point and click adventure. It's macabre. You are a servant who is basically looking after a family for a weekend. I was like, okay, that sounds interesting. And the demo is really, really engrossing in a way that I kind of didn't expect. And I was like, deal with these Rusty Lake games. Why is no one talking about the Rusty Lake games? And then I was playing the full build, and it's like, oh, if you get stuck, go on the Discord. And I was like, I'll do that. And then I realized I'm playing it pre-release and no one in there. And I was like, a little secret thing that I found. It's like 300,000 people in the Discord. Like, okay, maybe not.
Actually, 300,000?
I think. Hang on, wait. Let me see.
I know these games are surprisingly popular.
No, maybe not 300,000, but like
a lot of people.
A lot.
Maybe 30,000. Maybe I can't understand. Actually, I don't know, man. I'm scrolling. I think there's a lot of people in this
Count
Discord.
them up.
It's still we got time. Let's just see here and go one by one. That's right. The podcast audience would love it.
Yeah. I don't know. Everyone has. Oh wait, online. They've got 6,500 people online alone.
Okay,
So
that's
I think it's
crazy.
a big old Discord. But anyway, and so I started playing it, and man, I'm really in love with it. It's like there's such an weird and unusual vibe to it. Spoiler alert! It's this week's pick for the newsletter because I'm utterly. No, it's not. It was the pick for the bonus newsletter. There you go.
Right. Okay.
The other game I've been playing is the pick for my newsletter this week. It's just like such a weird vibe, and I think the thing I love about it is you get really familiar. It's the Van der Boom estate. The family's called the Van der Booms, and you get really, really familiar with the estate. And so when things start to go awry, you immediately pick up on it. If something, even because the places are so stark, you go into the hallway, for example, and you know exactly that there's going to be the table here, the painting here, like the doors here, and the cat there, maybe. And if something is slightly off, and things are slightly off, so things like the portraits, the eyes move.
Right.
Sometimes there'll be a door open. Sometimes there'll be a door locked that you could previously get through. There'll be unusual little puzzle boxes hidden around the room, and then you have to look at the paintings to try and solve them. Then you kind of are left to your own devices a lot to clean up after this family. Then you have like the most awkward family reunion of all time, and they all clearly hate each other, and there's all a bunch of other stuff going on. Meanwhile, you're just kind of there trying to complete your little puzzles, trying to get them champagne or get them a little canapé, and they're all just kind of bitching at each other. But I think the puzzles are really smart. They make me feel smart, which is what I am looking for the most. The music is absolutely wonderful. It just feels like I'm listening to. There's like just a little nice piece of classical music. Like I said in the piece that it's going up, it's like I feel like I should be playing this in front of an open fire. It just feels like a slightly elevated way. I feel like I'm not doing the game justice by sitting at my desk or on my handheld playing it. And I'm just really in love with it. And the developers were so nice. I gave them a shout out last week because it was a pick from the 6-1 Indie Demo Days, and they were like, we have a lot of these, right?
Yeah,
and they just just sent me like a bunch of codes for all the different, because there's it's a Rusty Lake series and this is a prequel. And so yeah, I'm just so into it. And also I'm playing it on my Ally, and I'm just using the touchscreen.
Oh, nice.
It's really good. A really good touchscreen game. I'm just like
just a little touchscreen.
Mm-hmm. Just
little
getting my little like what do you call it? The
stylus.
The little scope, and I'm just trying to look in. But no, it's really wonderful, and it has such a unique strangeness to it. It's like a dream-like strangeness that I just really vibe with. I think that's just maybe add that into what makes a Lucy-esque game. That's one of the prerequisites.
I got an email from them because we shouted out on the channel as well, and they sent through a code, and I'd heard about it. I think we and I had spoken about it in the past. That's how I'd sort of originally heard about it. So, but I didn't know that there were a lot of these games before this. There's like half a dozen maybe, I think. And they're all like 98% overwhelmingly positive on Steam or whatever. Like everyone who plays them just absolutely loves them. So it's a series that's kind of just been bubbling under the water, no pun intended, I'd love to check it out. It's
I also think I'm not quite at the end yet, but I don't think it takes like hours to complete. I think it's on the short.
Sort of short jump games. The detective genre, man, the whole sort of deduction thing, man, it's big these days. There's quite a few of them.
I mean, this one's less deductive reasoning. This one's more just like puzzle solving.
Yeah.
But there are some real good detective games coming out this year.
Yeah. You need to do a whole episode where you're just dressed like Sherlock Holmes or something.
Oh, we should get Puppet Lucy dressed like Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, there you go.
That came up in I use an app, and every day it shows me all the pictures that I've ever taken on that day. And it was like 4 years ago or something where we did the episode with the puppet. And then I was sad.
Man, we've been at this for so long. Crazy. All right, guys. Well, we have a lot more games to talk about still. But before that, another word from the sponsor. This podcast is sponsored by Factor. If you don't know, Factor delivers fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals right to your door. It is perfect for the busy person on the go, or someone maybe you're like me. Your routine has been a little disrupted lately. I've had a lot of stuff I've had to work on. I've had a lot of stuff after work going on, meaning I haven't had time to get to the grocery store, meal prep, do any stuff like that. So thankfully, Factor has come in super clutch, right? Like you set it up, you get all these meals delivered right to you, and there's a ton of different options. Like, Lucy, what are you eating lately with Factor?
Oh man, okay, so there is a filet mignon with the truffle butter,
fancy
sauce, and some like carrots. Oh my god, it is incredible. And like the thing that I love about Factor the most is it just takes away that time burden, because you just pop them in the microwave, they're ready in 2 minutes, and they are wonderful. I don't know why I said minutes so weird.
Minutes.
2 minutes. But it just means like I've also been kind of struggling because it's summer, the weather is nice, we've been going out and hanging outside a lot, and then when I come home tired after a day in the sun, the last thing I want to do is cook an elaborate meal. But Factor just makes it so easy, and there are so many incredible things to choose from, like the aforementioned filet mignon, but there's salmon burgers, shredded pork, collard greens, more, and none of the bad stuff. Like they have over 175 banned ingredients that they don't use. The stuff's good for you.
It's super good for all different types of people. Keto, vegetarian, vegan, like they've got you covered with all this. Plus they have all these fun add-on options. If you need more protein, you have that as well. I recommend Chef's Choice, big fan of that. But Factor is a go-to. We've been talking about it for a while now because it's been feeding us and it's convenient. So head to factormeals.com/FPS50off. When you're there, use code FPS50off to get 50% off and 1 free breakfast item per box for 1 year while supplies last until October 31st, 2026. Again, that's code FPS50off at factormeals.com. FPS50off at factormeals.com. See website for more details. Check it out. And big thanks to Factor for sponsoring this video. All right, now before we keep yapping games, let's actually take a user question. This question comes from Douglas, who asks, hey FPS, I want to thank Lucy for all her detective deduction game recommendations over the years. I've loved so many of them. Well, here's one I think she'll enjoy. It's called Contradiction, Spot the Liar. Write that down, Lucy. Okay, so it's apparently an FMV game from 2015. You play as Detective Inspector Jenks investigating a murder in a quaint English town. It ain't the most mechanically deep investigation, but its charm is in its presentation. The interviews with the townspeople are all filmed with real actors. Watching Jenks nibble the scenery is never not fun, and it even dips into the occult towards the end. It has a cult following, but I don't think enough people know about it.
Well, the thing is that I do know about this one. Randomly, I played it on stream with the last podcast on the left boys.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Like back in the day,
right?
And and like I was an enormous fan of their podcast at the time. I've definitely fallen off in the last few years, but yeah, it was like because of the occult stuff. I played it with Henry and Marcus. But it was when you and I met, when we were doing like all of those charity streams.
Oh wow!
And somehow they agreed to be on. It was really, really cool. And I didn't finish it. Kurt from GameSpot is a huge fan of this one because it is very chewing on the scenery is quite right. It is very over the top, but it does have
like
that big cult following that I do need to get back to.
Well, he knows you well. He nailed it. So Douglas continues saying, I do have a question too. You all play a lot of games these days, but what's a game you played growing up that feels like you're the only one who played it? For me, it's Star Trek: A Final Unity, a point-and-click MS-DOS Star Trek game.
Hell yeah.
Notable for having the entire TNG cast provide their voices. Holy shit. That's me, not the question. Great question. Thank you, Douglas. Who wants to start? This is a wild one.
I actually will, because I did remember one. And funnily enough, it also is connected to the detective genre. And it's also and I realize this now, it's actually the very first detective game I ever played. It's called the Eagle Eye Detective Agency. Did you guys ever play this?
No.
No. Okay, right. So like it's basically one of these kind of early kids games. It was like an MS-DOS game. And basically you play like a bunch of kids who have to go around their neighborhood, like solving mysteries, like at the local arcade, like who's broken.
Wait, this does look familiar.
Yeah, I reckon you probably did. And so it had like this really cool overworld map kind of thing where you'd have to be able to like click on different locations to go and visit the arcade or the library or whatever. And then you would like, speak to different people to collect the thing. It was kind of like a precursor to Ace Attorney almost, where you would collect all this evidence and then you were like, I think I know the answer. And then you kind of assemble it and then you kind of like make your accusations or whatever. But incredibly cool game. I really loved it. And it had a lot of presentation factor to it, even though it was really old. And as a child, I could understand what was going on really well. And it just has stayed with me all these years later. So yeah, man, Eagle Eye Detective Agency or Eagle Eye Mysteries was a series. And I think that was it for me. No one else I've ever spoken to in our space, by the way, has heard of this game. So even in the comments, sound off if you have played this game. I would love to hear from you.
1993. You play as twins, Jake and Jennifer.
There you go, Jake and Jennifer. JJ.
Jake and Jennifer.
I blew one of mine. I think like a week or so ago, last podcast. Advent Rising is one. But to go back, it's that one PlayStation 1. It was called Heart of Darkness.
Oh, the animations are so good.
But like it was brutal. Like you were like a cool kid who got like sucked into this alternate universe, Jimmy Neutron looking ass kid.
I remember this. Yeah,
you would square off against like these shadow monsters. It was like a 2D kind of left to right adventure, but really creative, really weird, really cool. That and I had gotten some educational computer games from a bin, and there was two that I was into. I know, educational games, it's so lame. It didn't work, clearly. There was one called Math for the Real World, and it was essentially you were like a touring rock band. And you would like travel across a map doing gigs, and you had to manage the math, like the expenses and stuff of like gas and like
this sounds fun. Jake. This sounds good.
Wait, is that a browser game?
I think it was like it was an old PC game. It was on a disc.
I played a version of that in a browser.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was like you were the manager of a band, and you had to say like, oh, you'll be a rock band, and you have to recruit everyone. And this was like 20 years ago. I remember something similar.
This looks so
it's
good.
Funny, I liked it, but I am terrible at math. Like math is hands down my worst subject.
Oh yeah, for sure. Me too.
So it didn't work.
But your band is running circles around every other band around.
My band is efficient. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's mine. Ben, what do you got?
God, I mean, it seems weird to say because it's in a big series, but there were so many freaky offshoots. Do you guys play Sim Life?
No.
Not even you, Lucy?
No.
Wow.
Like Sim Life, Sim Ant,
Sim
like Sim
Earth,
Music,
Sim Tower.
Yeah.
There's so many in there.
No.
And Sim Life was a favorite. Like, just look at the box art for Sim Life. It just screams 1992 PC game where it's like a tiger turning into a rhino's head. And you're just like simulating little ecosystems.
Right.
And this is like some real 90s memories. I remember playing it with my friends and it's like, oh, you can actually draw your own animals and we can make a little environment. So we can actually make like a barrier and then we can draw Pokemon, and then we turn it into a little like Pokemon battle simulator in the 90s. It's just like,
That's
all right,
awesome.
survival of the fittest. Will Charmander be the last one standing here in this sim life ecosystem? And so it was a lot of fun.
I miss box art from the 90s. Like this
Yeah.
Sims Live box art is
was-
great.
It was the coolest thing ever to go into a game store and see the big PC boxes
Big
lined up.
boxes.
Oh,
And
the
just, like,
PC boxes were awesome.
they were the
yeah.
best, man. I really missed
Oh,
that time.
I have another one, like an old computer lab one. It was for like I feel like we were on like Apple IIs or something, something like that. Like it was like it was called Number Munchers.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh man, what a game!
Made
So
in Minnesota.
satisfying.
Hell yeah. Same company that
Really?
made Oregon Trail. That's Mech that made Number Munchers and Word
Oh, wow.
Munchers.
Okay, yeah.
Are all you
Lemonade
Minnesota
Stand.
people
Number-
like this? Is this how you do? Like anything that ever happened in Minnesota, you know about it. You're like, who made
Yeah.
it?
Have you guys heard of the Coen brothers or Prince? Let's talk about them. We're very proud. Yeah.
Mine, I have two. So one of them is, I'm fairly sure, a game that like someone randomly made and we just had it on a floppy disk.
Okay.
And it was, you played as a P and it was a platformer and I think it was just called Mr. P. I don't know.
Nope.
I have a vivid memory of playing it at my friend's house. I think it's just some like shareware or something that someone
real.
made. The other one is a demo that I had. I think I got it from Yahoo back in the day. And I played this demo so many times. I think it's still on my PC in my old bedroom at my dad's house. And it was basically you would fly World War I bombers.
Okay.
And you would do dogfights in some missions, and then you'd do bombing runs on like factories and stuff in others. And it had this really triumphant brass score. And I remember when you finished the demo and you finished all the levels in it, it would just say like, oh, get the full game for this, but like more levels, more this, more incredible music. And I've just never found out what that game was or if it. So maybe if someone in the comments has heard about it, that'd be great.
Man.
This
is a good topic. 'Cause
I
I
love
feel like
this.
we could just keep going.
Like
It's so fun.
random
Another-
shit you played when as a kid.
I remember another one that I played was like Terra Nova, which was like this mech-based game that I didn't even realize was made by Looking Glass, like back in the
Oh,
day.
wow.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, no wonder this was excellent. It's made by these people, you know? So yeah, it's funny just to remember these games that you somehow stumbled upon and then you like go back and sort of
It's
Like
also been
Simon
interesting.
the Sorcerer was a big one for us.
nope.
I don't know that.
Like
Never
an
heard of that
adventure, LucasArtsy kind of game. I think he was a little rude guy.
Okay.
I think he had a little bit of tood. And someone like they remade it a few years ago, and I started playing it, and I was like, I should have left this in the 90s. But yeah,
I'm good for like all those weird ones that like I feel like nobody played, but I guess statistically other people went to Blockbuster, like the Bruce Willis Apocalypse game.
Yeah.
Remember that for PS1?
Yep.
Or what was the one? I think it was Sega Saturn, the box art. I remember the box art. It had this cool guy. He kind of looked like Ghost Rider, but not really. And he had a big gun, and he also had like a teddy bear. You remember?
Teddy bear and a big gun. No.
No.
Yeah,
Sega
like he had like a-
Saturn game.
Yeah, I think it was Sega Saturn. Maybe it was PS1. It was like a third person run and gunner, kind of isometric.
God,
But
no.
someone out there will know
Naughty
it.
Bear. No, it's not Naughty Bear. Oh wait, hang on.
Isn't it
Guy
funny?
holding gun and teddy bear game has given me a lot of interesting things.
Yeah, that's a tough one. But someone in the comments will know.
Oh wait.
Someone will know.
Loaded.
Yes, that's it. Yes.
Loaded.
Also,
Yes.
Jig, you didn't say that the guy looks like, I don't know. He looks like a character from Worms, all grown up.
Yeah, he does. He's a dark and gritty Worms character. He looks like what they did to Bionic Commando. He's got that look to him.
I think it says a lot
Oh
about
my
your
God, and
personality, though, that you see this and you're locked into like you're locked and loaded. Like, this is my
cool.
game. This freak show.
This is like a Todd McFarlane ass
Yo,
looking
Yeah.
hang on. There's an alt version of the cover and it says loaded, body bag not included.
character.
That's how you know it's. Oh, and there's reloaded. What's that?
The world will never know.
From 2023. What? Gremlin Interactive released Reloaded. Yes, then alert after less than a year after the moderately successful
Gremlin Interactive.
Yep. So this is from the game Reloaded is from 1996, and then the company Urban Scan re-released it.
Isn't this a weird career we have? Is just trying to vaguely recall. Like I saw this box art when I was 9. It really stuck with me.
I really remembered that. It was formative.
To be able to have that recollection and pull on it for money, like
amazing.
Reloaded only has 11 reviews on Steam.
There you go.
Well,
I'm afraid to tell you.
Well, I tell you what's going to have many more reviews on Steam and already does.
Tell us.
What's that?
Big Walk.
Oh yeah.
What a new video game from House, who before this made Untitled Goose Game. Now, I've only played a smidgen of it, but I know Ben has played a lot more of it. So tell us, what's the dealio?
Oh, man. Yeah, I rolled credits. There's also the option of the 100% ending. Okay. But we went all in at MinMax. We recorded all of us playing. We had like a group of 7.
Cool.
And going through it was such a blast. So, co-op, open world, open island puzzle experience. You know, so you played
it's friend slop, right? Like it's friend slop.
Look, how can we dodge the friend slop word is the real question.
It's definitely a cut above.
We've already had near slop once this episode.
Jake slop. This game's like loaded.
It's so tough, you know.
Driving a muscle car in a trench coat, like that's
holding
Jake
a teddy bear.
It has like, you know, the friend hijinks of friend slop, but at the same time, it's like there's really clever, well done puzzles, and so the idea of like we're not talking Witness level intricate puzzles, but friend slop, there's something about just really smart puzzles that doesn't combine with in my mind, you know, as a genre, but maybe we need to expand.
We're trying to make that happen.
Yeah, it's catching on. It's sweeping the nation, Lucy. Don't worry.
Yeah,
the streets are talking about it.
Yeah.
Streets ahead.
But yeah, I just had a blast with it. It's you know, very heavily dependent on proximity chat. Like if you're playing this game with friends, that's great. But you should get rid of Discord or mute yourself on Discord. Yeah. You should not be able to talk to people unless the game wants you to talk to people, because living in that world is so crucial, both for the exploration, where there's real tension of like, if I get separated from this group, I am scared. Yeah, it is dark and weird out here at night, and clinging to a walkie-talkie for life as you're trying to navigate back to your group, it gives you so many emotions. But then specifically for the puzzles, so many of them are dependent on limited communication of, you know, sometimes dividing the group in half with, hey, soundproof wall, try and communicate to each other, find some other way to do it. And it's such a good formula, I think, because you can go wherever you want, solve whichever puzzles you want. Then when you beat the puzzle, you get a little, we call them gourds. I don't know. What'd you call them, Ralph?
I don't know. We didn't. Oh, I do remember those.
Bells,
yeah, they are gourds. We didn't really have
little babies. Yeah, everyone calls them different things. I guess.
Things, yeah.
Yeah, so you can bring those back, and then, hey, you unlock a certain thing if you put 6 in a certain area, and then you kind of move your way through the game. But it's very lenient in that way, where if you get stuck on a puzzle, like just walk away, just go do something else, right? It's a little bit like Elden Ring. Don't beat your head against a wall. There's a whole world out there. Just put it back, come back to it later, go find another puzzle, find one that you want to do. And the variety of the puzzles is really great, where some are real thinkers, some are dependent on the group in really interesting ways we can get into. But then my favorite thing is some are just silly little experiences. You know, I'm just like, hey, play some basketball here for a little bit. Or hey, it's just kind of a scavenger hunt. You know, you're not always going to be, you know, racking your brain. If you have any aversion towards puzzles or puzzle games, like don't be scared of this one. There's a lot of wiggle room here. And if you have a couple friends who like to take charge in puzzle situations, you'll be fine and you'll have a blast.
I love I love like going to an escape room because I love puzzles, but I'm always like the person in the back who just kind of goes, feels good.
right. I would have done that. Yeah.
That's 100% me in games like I feel like Big Walk. I desperately want to play. I was watching friends all play the other day, and I kind of forget that controllers have the functionality that they have little mics in them. Like I never think about that with the PS5.
Oh yeah.
And so we were all in the room.
Really shouldn't.
I felt so bad because Max was like trying to have a conversation with like everyone on the game. And me, Andrew, and Jen were just like, God, I can't believe it. Blah, 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 blah. And at one point through the game, I just heard Georgia go, yeah, that's pretty crazy, guys. You can hear the attackers.
You're ruining the vibe.
We're trying to solve this puzzle over here, but yeah, whatever you guys are talking about.
It's fun how it plays with that stuff, like because the threshold for when you go out of earshot is shorter than you expect.
Yes,
So very quickly you could be talking and wandering around with your friend, and if they just get a little distracted, it's that like losing your mom in the mall where you're like, wait, where'd you go?
Where'd you go?
Yes, and it's getting dark fast.
Yeah. The day-night cycle is like really aggressive. The way they play with sound too, like when you look over a valley and you hear a voice echo, and how the tech does that, or how if you're in like a muffled room, you'll hear your voice, like stuff like that. I like.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I don't like, for being the kind of contrarian here. I played with just one other person.
Yeah.
And the game apparently tailors itself for how many people you're playing.
Yep.
I played with one person and I didn't really like it as much. It just feels like it's like I could tell. I was like, this is much better with a bunch of people.
I think that makes sense.
Jake, I'm sorry. Is someone got like a hula skirt or something with some bells on it in the background?
Oh, you hear that? I'm sorry.
Is that
Hula clock?
Your cat, right?
It's my cat knocking around the toy. I'm so sorry.
No, I think you're totally right.
I was like, what is this little atmospheric like?
I think you're totally right about that. So I've actually played about 3 or 4 hours of this game because we did a preview with the developers actually, like a hands-on.
They're Australian, right?
They're Australian, exactly. Yeah. So we did this, and like as soon as I played this, I was like, oh, this is already like one of the best games of the year. Like just with immediately you play it and you're just like, okay, you just can't not feel that, I think, when you're playing this, and you really do it. But we were doing it with a large group of people. There's probably like 6 of us in total. And the reason that it was very special was because as you get separated and have to do different things, it creates a lot of space for you to just be with someone else and talk to them. And I think this is the thing about like friend swap games. They're all like, whoa, he's going to do this. Whoa. Everyone's yelling. It's constant. It's relentless. It's like just instantaneous. That's it, right? Whereas this is a complete inversion of that, where it's like, it's actually about the negative space and then how you're able to like fill that with your sort of relationships with people that you're walking alongside. Because as an example, right? You'll get to one puzzle and you're in a big valley and there's a button at one side of the valley and then you go and press it and then you're all together as a group. And then you see at the other side of the valley, there's another button and you're like, fuck, we're gonna have to hit that button at the same time, aren't we? And you're like, all right, well, let's split up, shall we? So 3 of you stay here, 3 of you go hit that button. All right, sweet. The 3 people stand there, they got nothing to do while they're waiting for you to schlep across that valley. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna chat. And simultaneously, the people who are schlepping, they got nothing to do either except talk to each other on that bushwalk. And it's like going on a bushwalk with someone, and the point of that is to spend time with that person and to talk to that person. Obviously, you're taking in the sights and sounds or whatever, but that to your point, Jake, if I was just standing there on my own waiting for that button to get pressed and I was schlepping on my own, the game doesn't really work. It doesn't. You know what I mean? It's just not for that. It's for the fact that you can stand there with someone else and fill that negative space with a conversation and time with another person. And when you can do that though, it's really special. Like it's really wonderful.
I feel like I was just fatigued more quickly when it's just one other person.
For sure.
I get it.
Yeah, I definitely could, like, it's like you could tell. You're like, oh, this is a game where it's going to be great. It's almost like the Scooby-Doo effect where it's like Fred be like, okay, gang, me and Daphne will go over here. Now Scooby and Shaggy go over here. Like, it's perfect for that. You know what else? I also I couldn't help but think playing it this is a little bit of a reach, but it kind of reminded me of Mist in a way where it's very, almost to your point, Ralph, where it's very being present and kind of just being in this weird place, and the only things you hear is just the sound of the environment.
That weird place being Australia. Literally
it's just literally
back with a bunch of jungle gym equipment dropped around the landscape. That's it.
But you're in this weird place, and it's like, you'll be with nature, and you'll just hear the loop of the chirping bird sounds, but then you'll see a weird structure, and you go towards it and you try and figure out a puzzle. That it just kind of felt like a little evolution of the old feelings I used to get playing Myst at the library.
It totally wants you to slow down. It has plenty of spots of like, hey, just sit here and look out over the ocean for a bit. And so that can be frustrating, I suppose, if you're in a situation of like, give me some collectibles to run around and give me something to do. But you're right, Ralph. Like it is the magic of like, and the game even tries to push this a couple times. So like, just slow down. Talk to your friends. Isn't it fun to be divided up in this way? And the main thing it made me think of every once in a while was, strangely enough, like Arrival. You know, being on like the opposite side of glass every once in a while. Like we need to start at step one. How are we communicating what we're seeing and you're not seeing, and vice versa? And being put in situations like that with your friends over and over again is so fun. And it becomes, the puzzle becomes much more about communication and people than about the intricate mechanics of some puzzle piece or something like that. You feel like it feels like you're playing a tabletop game in a way, like Taboo, Just
about to say, have you played The Mind?
Yes.
Which is a tabletop game in a very similar ilk where you get a pack of cards and they're labeled from 0 to 100 and you get dealt, like 4 cards or something. You get dealt 1 card each per round and you have to put them in ascending order, but you're not allowed to speak or gesture. And so it's about, like you said, filling this negative space and trying to sort of like say kind of,
right.
We play that so much. We played it at the Millers one Christmas Eve, actually. And it was like me and Blessing and like my friend Jen and like screeching at each other by the end. Like we had there was one, because there's certain times where you get like 96, 97, then someone has 98.
Yes.
And it's just like you get these incredible moments, but you learn essentially this other language in which to talk to yourself. So I think that's a really fun kind of comparison.
It also works well. It was one of the first dates with my now wife was 2 people playing The Mind. And like, it is a strangely intimate thing, like early date of just like, let's just try and read each other. How in sync are we for playing these cards silently? It's romantic. Just like Big Walk. Everyone will be making out by the end of it, I promise.
Right.
Well, Ben, you mentioned the ending.
Yes.
Without spoiling anything, I do feel like the headline from MinMax, right? It was like extraordinary ending, or you guys like really raved about the ending.
I've been trying to process it. We had like an ideal situation, right? Where we're streaming it and we had the cameras on so we could see everybody and we're really bonded throughout this. And there was a big group of us throughout the entire thing. But it is the perfect ending, It is one of those endings that's surprising yet inevitable. Like, of course it was going to be this, and none of us saw it coming. And yeah, it really got me. And it had me thinking just about the history of game endings. And I was thinking like, this is my favorite ending since, and then I was like, well, Expedition 33 was a great ending. That was just last year, but I think, I don't want to overhype it, but I think it's in the pantheon of like a journey to me. Like it's just, it is pitch perfect ending when it comes to mechanics, it's everything that you want and you probably won't see coming.
Okay.
It's amazing.
So everybody, all the little goofy little characters, they all get guns. And
That's
it's like
exactly
Thunderdome style.
Yep, you drop on the island the way it should be.
Excellent.
The gourds explode.
I really am so excited to play it. I just like right now it's such a crazy time. There's so many games or whatever. And I think it's the kind of thing where I want to carve out some time and be like, cool, I'm going to do, because what's the runtime? How long did it take you guys?
We beat it about 12 hours, but it was a lot of dicking around.
Okay. So yeah, I feel like if you could just carve out like, 3 nights, 3 or 4 nights over the span of a month or whatever, like you can do it. I really want to do it because that's the only way it works.
I'm down.
Setting aside, yeah, exactly. I think it'd be fantastic. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, I think like it becomes fun chaos when you go over, 5 people or something like that. You can play with up to 12. That would be a fun novelty. I feel like, 5 to 7 feels like the sweet spot, If you can get a group going in Discord or something like that, it'd be worth trying to. It's $15, it's a great time.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, I will definitely play more with somebody at some point. Maybe you guys.
Yeah, ideally.
Maybe
we'd love to organize that.
Yeah.
The challenge is time zones and also like life time zones right now.
Yeah.
Just like
all the other games we have to play.
I mean,
right.
Out of control.
Also,
the number of games we already have in our inboxes for like the coming period, previews / review code, it's out of control.
It's a busy time.
This is it. We're in it.
Mm.
You can always tell by how I don't have a haircut. It's always like the longer my hair gets, you're like, wow, there must be a lot of game reviews and previews.
You need that hair. It's supposed to be a power, like Samson. Not video game Samson, actual Samson. But maybe both. Anyway, so one other quick shout out that I want to make, a game called Stormforge, which is a survival crafter that basically like imagine those 1980s cartoons, with the kind of very specific color palette and line work. and imagine that like a fantasy setting, imagine like a He-Man. Imagine He-Man, but a survival crafter, like visually. That's what this is. And it's really, really beautiful. Like, it's crazy how good this game looks.
Whoa, this looks sick.
I know, right? As soon as you start looking at it, you're like, hang on a second, what the? It's built in Unity, and they've built a lot of like custom shaders to get it looking this way. But I don't know. I'm trying to think of a survival crafter that looks like better than this, because I think survival crafters can often be really beautiful with their art design. Like Valheim, for example, a really beautiful game despite having like very low texture detail and whatever else, right? Whereas this one, it seems, is just finding a more traditional way of being beautiful with this very, deliberate, heavy-handed, stylized art. But when you see some of the buildings that people are able to make, like they've had some building competitions with their early access community and whatever, and some of the stuff they've built just looks incredible. Like, it just looks wild. So, I think, but beyond that class-based stuff, beyond the foundational survival elements, there's a class system. They do want to have like tank, healer, and DPS, that kind of thing going on. There is some basic combat that works really well, but it is that kind of loop of like being in a place. There are these dangerous storms that you kind of need to be able to go and explore and be able to build enough gear to survive these storms while they kind of eat away at you, fight bosses within these storms, and these kind of act as the markers that move you up the progression ladder in the survival tree. I have had a really good time with it. I've actually played it twice. I played it in Gamescom 2 years ago with the developers, and then I played it again yesterday with the developers. They showed me their latest build. And it's just looking really great. They've got a demo coming out next week, actually, which allow you to play like the first biome and a half. So you can spend at least a good sort of 10 to 20 hours in there, depending on your interest. But what's really fascinating about it is that they're building modding tools right off the jump. So imagine, because you can basically buy any asset off the Unity store. Like, you could buy like a Honda Civic, a Unity asset. You can then drop it into this game's whatever. I don't even know what you call it, right? But it will essentially convert that Honda Civic so it looks like it belongs in this world. It has that kind of very stylized.
That's interesting.
That's cool.
Totally. So you can have this very style. And they've also built this kind of front-end UI that allows people to build custom mods. And so they just, in front of me, they built a mod where they built a little spot and they put chickens around the place, and then they sort of like modded the chickens so that every time you hit the chickens, they would poop out exploding barrels. And then the exploding barrels would explode and they would destroy the nearby structures because there's a physics model in play. And they just did that right on the spot. And as I said, you can do that with like any asset from the Unity store, plug it straight into this, and it makes it look like this with this very beautiful art and line work and whatever. And so the modding potential of this is kind of huge. I asked them, like, could I just build like a straight up sci-fi survival crafter using these tools that looks like this, but it's in a sci-fi world? They're like, absolutely, of course you can. That's what we're building. So a very ambitious, very ambitious package. This team is only about 15 people. They are self-publishing. They do have investors, and that's where they got their money. But it's coming along really nicely. And I think it's going to be pretty good. I think it's going to be pretty solid. As I said, demo on the 18th. And that's free to everyone, obviously. And do put it on your radar. It looks very promising.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm really into this.
Yeah. I mean, these survival games often have a habit of kind of like unexpectedly blowing up. And with the modding tools of this one, I would not be at all surprised if this one surprised me.
Modding from the ground floor is a mod.
Especially when you can make it look like this. You can take any asset and just have it look this cool. I just think that's a really nice play, So
Yeah. Have you guys been following Legend of California at all?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have. We
Jeff
sure
Kaplan
have.
game?
Yeah.
Are you interested in that one?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Have you played it yet? Have you played it yet, Ben?
I
You played
haven't. No, we just recorded an interview with Jeff Kaplan, a rapid
Okay.
fire interview that we did that we're going to be putting up next week at
Nice.
MinMax here.
Oh.
But I am so curious about it. It's nice to see, somebody who loves Rust as much as Jeff Kaplan, like going in and trying to make his survival game with some sensibilities from Blizzard design,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've spoken to Jeff, because I was a big Overwatch person, so I interviewed him a few times, and I'm just so excited to see and chat to him and watch the MinMax rapid fire interview.
Yeah,
I want to
definitely.
know more.
Yep.
All right.
I got one.
Lucy, yeah, what is this contact protocol?
Okay, so we are recording this on the Wednesday. So earlier today we had the Kinetic Showcase. So Kinetic Games, creators of Phasmophobia, have kind of gone the outer sloth, inner sloth route of taking their enormous success from their one indie game and kind of using it to help float all ships, and so like investing that into other small teams. And so this game is from a team called Cold Zephyr. It's called it's called Contact Protocol. Sorry, my cat.
We heard. Sorry, we heard.
She got me off my game. How much do you like the anxiety of the first day at a new job?
Love it. Want some more of it?
Yeah,
I pray I never have to experience that ever again.
Well, you'll love this game.
Right.
No, so this game is papers. Don't throw up, dude. Okay, no, she's fine. She did start to throw up though. So this game is essentially Papers, Please in space. That's being reductive. That's what they are saying, like in the like Steam page and after talking to them and everything. It is so much more than that. It is this cassette futurism. So everything is really striking. Obviously, like something like Alien is a big touch point for them visually. And the Papers, Please of it all is you're just a company man and you work for Galileo Co. and you are in space and you have to decide if it's okay if these ships go past. And so you have to share your details and you have to do things like, hey, does the company owner match? Does your squawk match? Does the hull type match? Does your code name or whatever match? And it's up to you to basically ascertain if these ships are telling the truth and let them pass. But all the while, there are these conflicts happening. So there's folks who went to Mars, the Martians, are essentially stuck there. And Mars, by all accounts, seems like a sucky place to live. There are, there's this domestic terrorism going on. There's this movement of people who don't want to be there. And it's up to you to be like, well, do I want to help these people? And then kind of like, hey, someone will go past you and say, hey, the next ship that comes, that's my cousin. Tell him this. And so there's also this kind of little choose your own adventure dialogue that's happening as you are trying to make sure that the information is all correct. And it is so tense because at the same time, the ship is coming at you visually on screen, but also, there's this countdown of how close it's getting. What you can do is you can destroy these ships. And it's up to you. That's a moral choice that you make. And then after, you close your console for the day and you have downtime. And there are other people on the ship, and your actions, both there and your console, affect how they talk to you. So there is a ship psychiatrist that you have to talk to every time, like a ship, you destroy a ship. There are miners, as in
sure,
pickaxe people, not the not children. And they basically sort of threaten you a little bit, and they're like, oh, that big door protecting you, separating you from us, it's maybe not as strong as you think it is. We would like a little break. Maybe you leave the door open for us, the mess door open, and we have a good time. And so you kind of have to decide, there are all these little micro choices that you make. And I spoke to the developers. It's my pick for LFG this week. It really has stuck with me. And that's why I said, how do you feel about having the anxiety of the first day on the job? Because you are literally just popped in there. This company tells you that you are able to do this. And the thing is that after every time a ship goes by or you destroy a ship, you have to fill out fucking paperwork. And you have to say what you manually verified to make your decision.
Okay.
And then what happens is your
Can you
ship
lie? Cool.
Or you could just fuck up. You could just say the wrong thing. I didn't realize that really at the beginning. I wasn't paying attention. And then I kind of got marked down for a little bit because they were like, we don't think this report's accurate, because you have to justify your actions to the company. It's really cool. And I was talking to the developers and I was asking them about this, how you deal with morality in games. And they were saying that stuff like Mass Effect or whatever, it's the developer decides if that's a good choice or a bad choice, a Paragon or a Renegade. And we wanted to make a game where you are the person who decides if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And I caught some thinking about it. And I think it's a really cool pick from Kinetic to sweep up in the kind of initial wave of games that they're publishing. Obviously, they picked up Sam Barlow's game as well.
Yeah.
Crescent County, the Wizard one, and there's another one too that they picked up. But it's that's the one that stuck with me the most. I think it's
I
gonna be.
love this.
Is this
like
all-
I loved
The
Papers,
sound work
Please.
too. Oh, and
Like-
also one of the devs loves like print, so there's a lot of like tactile, like there's like essentially like a fax machine that comes in, and you get like missives from Mars and from Earth, and like all of these newspapers, and like, oh, we should rebel about this, like little flyers and stuff. It's really cool. I'm really in love with it. I haven't written my piece yet, and so my thoughts are a bit scattered, but I think it's something really, really awesome.
Is it all text based? Like, as in, is it all just sort of just a sort of text log? That's how everything's unfolding in front of you, or is it sort of more? I'm seeing some screenshots here look a bit sort of like Disco Elysium panel, like on the side.
That's when you're talking to people in the downtime.
Right.
That's that CRPG column.
I see. Oh, and this
when
is the interface for when you're actually doing your job. I understand now. Okay.
So you have your computer, and there's other things like there's blueprints to kind of look at if you're not sure of the hull and you want to verify that another way. The coolest shit I didn't even talk about. I'm an idiot, fucking idiot. Is that people that you talk to give you intel. And so they'll say, hey, it's shipped from Galileo Co. or whatever. Their squawk will always end in an even number or a 7. Someone else might tell you something to the contrary. And so you have a log of all this intel, who gave it to you and how many days ago they gave it to you. And you can mark in your ledger if you decide to trust that intel or not.
I like that a lot. That's very cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah, right.
It's fucking awesome, man.
I know. I know, like the being reductive of Papers, Please, but this feels like a really good like evolution of those concepts.
Yeah. And they when I spoke to them, they absolutely called out Papers, Please as huge inspiration. And something with like the morality of Spec Ops: The Line, as well as like making these huge decisions that will, impact the lives of the. That's my cat.
We get to feed your cat, Lucy.
She's been fed.
She's pissed.
Hey.
She's like, yo,
She needs love.
Howling.
She does. I try to give her a cuddle early, and she doesn't have it. But no, and I just think it's something cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, I think also if you like The Expanse,
Oh yeah, of course.
I think there's certainly obviously that element to the push and pull of spacefaring life in there.
Yeah, the bureaucracy and the realities of spacefaring and the government. Yeah, for sure. Very last one I'll talk about, which is the embargo, is up now, so I can talk about it. Fire Emblem's Fortune's Weave.
None with a motherfucking gun. How is it?
Now they're calling it firearms. They're calling it firearms Emblem.
All right.
Now, do any of you guys play Fire Emblem games?
I love Three
bit.
Houses.
You love Three Houses.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
you are
played
going
Three
to
Houses. Yeah.
love this. This is so fucking good. This is so good. Like seriously, Fire Emblem Engage. It was kind of like. It kind of feels like it like sort of slumped out the door. Like it was a fine game, don't get me wrong, but it didn't have any chutzpah. There was no like enthusiasm behind it. It was just so kind of mechanically focused and narrow, whatever else. Compared to the scale of Three Houses and what that did, it just felt like such a massive step back, right? But this is like taking what Three Houses did and then just jumping further as far forward as it's just. Dude, I've already played like 30 hours of this on the preview.
What?
Yeah, no, because you can play all 4 of the routes at the same time. Okay, this is the thing.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't, but the way this works with Fire Emblem games is that there are always, very often, there are different routes that you play based upon decisions. And then you'll have to like play through the entire game to finish that route. And then you need to start the game again to play through a different route. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But they're always like, they're each in like, discrete playthroughs. With Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, you hit a point very early in the game where you have a choice and you're like, there's 4 routes based on 4 different characters. You choose one character, you play it for a few hours, and then you get to the capital city. And at that point, you've got a thing where you can teleport back through time to basically kind of select a different person and start playing through their story. And so you can do all of this at once. So you can play a little bit of this person's story, play a few chapters, go back to the obelisk, touch a different person's, obelisk, and then, okay, all right, settle down. And then you start playing their story, play that for a few chapters, maybe get a bit bored of that, whatever else, go over and do someone else's. So you're doing 4 at once. So the embargo that I had for this was, you can play up to chapter 5. And I'm like, okay, cool. But they didn't say how many routes you could play up to chapter 5.
Interesting.
So I could play them all
that's how you get them.
up to chapter 5. And that already has taken me like 30-ish hours. It could be a bit less than that. It might be 25, but it's a lot, man. Like, so anyway, but what's really cool about this is that it's all based upon a gladiatorial tournament called the Heroic Games, okay? All 4 of these characters are all playing through this same tournament, and they're all playing on the same timeline, okay? They're all in the same place at the same time. So what you can actually do is you can play through like 2 or 3 chapters of a character, and you see that they have a qualifying match coming up, right, on a certain date. You can mark that date in your calendar, and you can see that someone else that you're playing with, another route, also has a qualifier on the same day. So you know they're going to be in that arena together. So at that point, you switch over to that other character, you play through all of their story up to that point, and now you're at the point where you're sort of caught up with both of their backstories before you step into that arena. And then when those cutscenes roll, you know what's going on. Like, because I was thinking about, like, if I'd have only played through one route and I was watching these cutscenes, I wouldn't know who half of the people are because I haven't spent time with them. I've only spent time with the characters from that route. But now, having invested the time and doing all of it at the same time, I know everyone, and I'm so intimately sort of connected to them because I've spent hours with them, and I know their backstories, and I know their cast of companions around them. And it's just like, it's so rewarding to have those flashpoint moments where these stories cross over with one another when you've put that work in to understand it. It's so good. I love it. So I'm actually maintaining a spreadsheet that actually has a master timeline that allows me to track all of this so I don't fuck any of it up and I don't skip ahead with someone.
That.
That's
so
amazing.
Good, right?
Hang on. So how does that work with regard to leveling and like unit power? If you're like, do you go back in time? You go back to like level 5 and you were level 10 or something?
You go back in time as in like you're Kai, one character's Kai, and he's like might be level 10, and then you're going to go play Theodora and she might be level 1. So then you start the journey of leveling her. And so you might be thinking to yourself, okay, well, that sounds a bit boring, right? Like, aren't they all just going to be the same? I'm grinding the same shit, just getting some different cutscenes. Absolutely not. Each of these stories, vastly different in terms of where they start, you know, the cast of characters around you. The tone of the story as well is vastly different for each of them. One of them is really focused on revenge. One of them's focused on just like trying to rescue his dad or whatever. The sort of spirit of each of these stories is vastly different, but also the gameplay is different because you explore a world map and each character has a different conceit for how they interface with the map. One of the characters, for example, Theodora, she's like she's a queen. And so she commands a nation and she has to send supplies back to her nation. In return, they send like battalions of troops that she can then order around the world map and she can use to collect resources and also assign them to her in the battle. Kai is kind of a hunter-gatherer type. So as you're exploring the world map, you're actually kind of like fishing and fossicking for things that you find and capturing animals so that you can use them as mounts. The point is that like, do not imagine that you're playing the same thing 4 times with different cutscenes. You're playing very different journeys underpinned by different gameplay mechanics with different stories while doing this. And that's the secret sauce that makes this like really work and has made me like fucking locked in. That's the reason I played 30 hours of this game to this point. Because if it was just the same thing 4 times with different cutscenes, I'd be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
The fact that it's different makes me go, I'm excited to like touch a new obelisk and be like, what's next? You know, because there was a risk that you would just kind of know what to expect because it's just, as I said, doing the same thing again, but with different characters. But you're not, you're doing different things in different ways, in different orders. And it's so good, man. I love it. And just like the aura of this game as well. It's so energetic and so like, it just bursts from the screen. Every character you meet looks incredible. The sound and music is amazing. I love this shit, man. I reckon this is like fucking great. I am like, wow, on this. I am not usually the target market for this, but like I'm very, very about this. I've just had a fantastic time.
It's so funny to hear like Splatoon Raiders and this back to back where you're like, Nintendo's got me, man. What's going on? They're nailing it.
I think they're good at this.
The Switch, man, the Switch 2 is like absolutely crushing it this generation. It is the best machine. I'm sorry, but it is. Like it's just
between Pokopia as well this year alone.
Yeah, totally.
Amazing. Like just it's doing it right. Like it truly is. Yeah, this is just another example. And I think this is going to be the kind of RPG that's going to, you know, if you like Persona, if you like Metaphor Refantatio, this is scratching so many of the same itches. Like it sounds playing massive in the same space.
Yeah.
It's huge as well.
That's the wild thing is like according to the Nintendo Direct, also all of this that you're describing is borderline prologue. Like there's still kind of the whole other section with a whole real protagonist of what this game's actually about.
No. So the real protagonist thing is the setup of like you play the real protagonist who's facing this evil, and these 4 characters are essentially allies that you need to recruit. So you being that protagonist, you're the person that touches the obelisk that then puts you in the shoes of these characters.
I see.
That's how that works, right? So at that point, I'm sure at some point we eventually switch over to a different story where like I have these characters in my retinue and whatever, and we're going to do that thing. But for now, I'm playing through a story where I'm collecting these allies, building up, like leveling them up and whatever, and getting them on board. So. But realistically, what you said though, it is prologue because right now I'm still in the qualifiers for the heroic games. We haven't even hit the heroic.
Oh my god,
games
you're not even in.
Like we're just literally getting set up. You know what I mean? Like one of my characters hasn't even played one of his qualifiers yet. He's literally just like his name's Dietrich. He's like the Alucard looking dude. His whole story is
the Griffith.
His story is just him walking around the countryside, starting fights with as many people as possible because he just loves fighting. Cool. And he literally hasn't even had a single match in the arena yet because, and that's what I'm talking about. Some of the characters I've already had 2 matches in the arena, and the story has been entirely about what's going on in the capital. Other characters, I've had no matches in the arena. It's all about what's been happening in far-flung lands and as I'm journeying the countryside. And oh man, it's really, really excellent. I'm very blown away by this. There's no way I would have spent 30 hours on a preview had I not just fallen in love with this instantly.
Okay, and now we need you to do the impossible thing of ranking these characters because Kai seems like the dud. Theodora seems like the coolest in my mind, at least.
No, I think Dietrich is like the Alucard sort of dude, and it's funny because he's like. He's just, everyone talks about how hot he is all the time. Like all the characters like, oh my God, he's so hot. All the time it's happening. Kai is this like nice, sweet kid who's just trying to rescue his dad. Theodora is this queen. She's kind of badass. And there's also Leda, who's basically like Beatrix Kiddo. She just has like a murder list of people that she wants revenge on and she crosses off their names with their blood. Like she's insane. But she's also like a dancer. And she has some pretty good sequences, I'm not going to lie. So look, there's lots to love about different characters in different ways. I would say overall, though, the Theodora Queen path so far has been the most interesting because it's political and it's dramatic. And like literally, she loses her right arm in a coup. This is the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
She loses her right arm in a coup, and then she gets a new magic right arm that's cursed and it's possessed her, and she has like 10 years until she loses her brain. Yes, Jake, it's a Metal Gear reference, okay?
That's awesome.
Sweet.
So there's just so many cool things. And by the way, like everything I've described is literally in the first few hours. There's no spoilers of what I've just talked about because the game is so massive that there's just so much going on all the time, so...
I don't want to wish my life away.
No, look, this is the kind of game
I don't got time for that.
It's an anime RPG. It has all those tropes with it. Very often I bounce off those because I'm just like, this is a bit too much for me. But I think it's just so full-throated in the embrace of that stuff. And also the scale of it's so incredible. The systems are so fascinating. The diversity across the routes is so robust. That like I'm just on board for the ride, man. I truly am, I wasn't at all like I recommended Engage, but I'm like, it's fine, I guess it's okay. But I was like, this can't be the future of Fire Emblem. There's just no way that Engage is the future. But this is clearly the future of this franchise. Like it just is, man. So
it's amazing,
yeah, man.
And for Intelligent Systems, they're releasing good games back to back, month to month. Because I don't know if you all paid attention, they technically released a game in August here. For the Virtual Boy, Dragon Hopper, now on Nintendo Switch Online, an old Intelligent Systems game that never saw the light of day until this month.
No one knows that except you. You are literally the only person that
That's a real gamer right there.
Yeah, thank you.
That's me. That's everything I got. It was a big week, a lot of gaming.
That's 2 hours of gaming.
That is a lot.
That's a lot of gaming.
So with that, we should probably move on to Show and Tell, the sequence where we talk about other stuff we've been enjoying that isn't video games. I'll go first. I could talk all day about Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Please do.
What a lovely film. But I also watched The Sheep Detectives.
Oh, how is it? How is it?
Cry.
Yes, how is it? Oh, I really want to see it.
It's like it's just like everything I would hate in a movie. It's just like this dumb little mystery whodunit with CGI sheep. But they're all voiced by great people: Patrick Stewart, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. So the setup is essentially it's in England, and Hugh Jackman is a sheep farmer. And he's a humble sheep farmer. He lives in the trailer and he herds his sheep all day, and he's weirdly jacked out of his mind.
Yeah.
That aside. So he every night he reads to his sheep. Like he takes out a book and he reads stories to his sheep as they fall asleep. It's very sweet. And he reads them murder mysteries. And then one day, Hugh Jackman is found dead. So the sheep are very like mystery minded sheep. So they're like, we need to figure this out. Right. We need to solve this mystery of who killed our guy who takes care of us. And then it kind of evolves also into this whole small British town mystery, like who done it, where all these characters pop up, and it's like, well, there's the local butcher, there's the lawyer, there's the rival sheep farmer and stuff like. So it's just a simple who done it, but it's got a lot of charm and it's cutesy. And I went into it like, why am I watching this? And then I had a good time, and by the end I was crying because the CGI sheep are cute. Okay, there's a little baby one that made me cry. And it worked. It was effective. Wow. Okay. Nice, simple, little good story. And yeah, it kind of reminded me of like a just in terms of that small town mystery thing, that quaint small town mystery. It kind of reminded me of like Hot Fuzz or something like that. Okay, with like a Ryan Johnson Knives Out type thing.
Meets Babe.
Yeah, meets Babe.
Big Babe.
Big
vibes.
Babe. Yeah. Okay, now we're talking. Yeah.
George Miller's Babe.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Hell yeah. And it's like produced by Lord Miller, who did Project Hail Mary last year and stuff. So
and Craig Mazin as well.
Oh, confusing.
Who did Chernobyl and Last of Us.
That's right.
Yeah.
And The Hangover Part 3.
And the Borderlands movie, and it had his name taken off it. Yeah.
Honestly.
On his insistence, he's like, yo, get my name off that shit.
It seems that way, yeah.
Yeah, right, fair enough.
Yeah, that's what I got. Also, Spider-Man Brand New Day is great.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it. Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Let's do it.
Have we all seen it? No spoilers here, obviously.
We all seen it?
I've seen it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I think some spoilers, right? Like some spoilers is okay.
You got to say which level of spoiler you're talking about.
Okay, I would say I would classify them as minor spoilers. Okay, right. So I like this movie. I think it's good. I like it. I just think it's a bit stuffed. It's a bit too overstuffed for me, right? It feels like it's two movies because it ultimately feels like one movie that belongs to a different category of enhanced humans. I'll put it that way.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
While also being a Spider-Man movie, which I think actually does a pretty good job with like the tensions that he deals with, like with Mary Jane and his boy and whatever. And I kind of like that stuff. I really feel like having the Punisher in this was annoying because he's like, he can't do anything. He can't be the Punisher in a Spider-Man movie. No, like he's not allowed to do that. He only.
All right. Can I say something? I thought he was endearing in the movie. He's like kind of like the good comic relief, but like at this point, I am deeply over John Bernthal as the Punisher. I don't like him as the Punisher. And I know people are going to get so mad at me. I was there day one. Daredevil, the original Daredevil, season 2, incredible Frank Castle. They were really doing something. But at this point, he just doesn't feel like the Punisher to me.
That's what I'm saying. He can't, but like he literally can't be the Punisher.
He also can't.
Because you can't just like go and torture like criminals on the street to get information out of them because he's in a Disney movie, he's in a Spider-Man movie. Like, it doesn't make sense. So I just feel like, I didn't love
But the relationship was good. The dynamic I thought was very entertaining.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. I think that they sort of shoehorned in the Hulk. Which is
he did not need to be there. I was like annoyed at that. I mean, I understand the how and the why, but
it felt like, because we haven't had like good real Hulk in a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It felt like a gift. He was awesome.
He was scary.
Like,
I agree with that.
I was just entertained by that whole sequence.
I agree.
I'm with you. Yeah, the fight scene's worth it. And I think it's worth it too, just to have like that interaction between Bruce Banner and Peter Parker where they're both kind of dorks and awkwardly laughing. Like that exchange is like, this is charming. I love it. And I think on top of this is why you're wrong, is the idea of like, I think this movie succeeds for having just it feel like a world, to feel like a Marvel world. Let me go around the corner. Oh, look, let me encounter this character. Let me go over here. I think like the last Spider-Man movie, I think had glimpses of that, of like, let me go hang out with Doctor Strange for a bit. Oh, or look, Daredevil's my lawyer. Funny thing. And I think now that we're at this point in the MCU, I think it's so satisfying to have that pay off by, you could say, could you cut this character out? Yeah, you probably could. But I think it makes it so much more fun when you never know what to expect. And it's not going to be too obnoxious, but it just makes it feel like this is all a shared universe. You never know who you could run into.
It does. I get that. I guess I'm really hung up on like specific things that Spider-Man himself does, like Peter Parker does. For example, he's like, oh, I'm running a surveillance system on the entirety of New York where I'm watching every single person at once. And you're kind of like, huh, would Spider-Man be okay with that tech? I'm not sure. I kind of think Spider-Man wouldn't be.
It felt like they were setting something up with that because DeWolf did question that. She's like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell if it was like a bit or they wanted to do a bigger plot point with that. And also, she was a really good choice for DeWolf.
She was,
by the way.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah.
And then, Peter Parker invents a thing that can just basically nullify someone's powers. And he's just like, he's totally cool with that. No problem, And I'm like, would Peter Parker be totally cool with that? Like, that seems like something.
I think that's part of the plot, though, is saying, hey, Peter, this ain't great. Like, you're kind of out of control. You're not thinking clearly.
But I think Peter Parker would probably come to different conclusions with regards to that. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like the most powerful emotional moment in all of the Raimi movies was J. Jonah Jameson refusing to sell out Spider-Man in that critical moment when he had the chance to do it. Because, there was just something about that. It was just like a bunch of street people who at the end of the day, like had something very real that they kind of clung to. Or is it like, he hates Spider-Man, but he understands the rules of this game and he's not going to give up those rules no matter what. And I feel like at the same, then contrast that with Tom Holland's being like, yeah, I'm running a mass surveillance system and I'm shutting down everybody's powers because I can just do that. No problem. I'm Spider-Man. I can do that. You know what I mean? I feel like that kind of street level, like honor code isn't there with this Spider-Man, and it's in particular with this movie. And I guess I really am not. That's why I wasn't as bought into it as I could have been. Like, there was too many things in this movie, sure, but I also just don't really buy that this Spider-Man, like, I don't buy this version of Peter Parker. I don't think I don't like his decisions personally.
Well, I wonder if they're setting it up for more because I like a good Peter Parker where his mistakes blow up in his face. Like his mentors, like who he chooses as allies often blows up in his face. Sure. So I do almost feel like, him sciencing too hard can show up to bite him in the ass.
I guess, but I guess if you'd have centered the tension on that a little bit more and like rather than just little throwaway lines, I can understand that and I would be interested in that. But they really just kind of hand wave it and they're like, we're just running the AI system to track everyone all the time. And you're like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm curious, like what the idea was. Yeah. Like I think that's a valid argument. I think like some people are getting distracted by like, well, how does Peter Parker have an apartment and how does he have money? And it's like I don't fucking
tweet.
care.
I feel like if he can run an entire surveillance system, he can.
He's obviously mining.
Smart.
He's obviously mining crypto, man.
Yeah,
come on now. That's how he's making his money. Yeah. Come on now.
Do you guys
I can't believe they made a whole movie about him being bricked up. I thought that was weird.
Well, there you go. That's put that on the box.
I liked that it felt like a real movie.
Yeah.
The other Spider-Man movies, the other Tom Holland Spider-Man movies felt more like MCU products. They all had their moments and they were different. But this was more to me like, I'm like, okay, this feels more of like a confident Spider-Man thing first and foremost. It's still saddling him with a lot of stuff, like a lot of characters show up. But I like that he was a guy in a real costume. He wore his mask almost the whole time.
Pretty wild, yeah.
The fighting was like really good Spider-Man fighting.
Yep.
Clearly inspired by the Insomniac stuff. Like the press circle to like dodge like that one where he can kind of do a handspring dodge in the game. Yeah. Spider-Man literally does exactly that in the movie. Like it was crazy. I was entertained by it.
Do you guys think the MJ stuff worked all right? Because as I was watching it, I was like, why is this so frustrating? And it's that idea of the MCU stumbling into a couple times now with, we're going to have the same actor, same character, but it's not really that character. Like Gamora and Loki, right? Have been two other characters where it's like, it's them, but not really, but we'll kind of get them up to speed and they'll kind of be like the old version of themselves. We're doing the best we can. We know you want to see this actor be this character. What are we supposed to do here?
I think they did. I think it still worked for me because even though it is a similar thing, Star-Lord just kind of immediately like walked up to her and was like, hey, remember me? Where like at least Spider-Man here is like dealing with this like actual real pain to it. And there's something about both of those characters looking the person in the eye and saying, I don't remember you.
I like that.
Where I think it's like Zendaya and like the writing that like it was like more effective here. Totally.
I also
At least for
the
me.
main villain in the, which I won't spoil, I think really well cast, incredibly
Yes.
good casting, great performance. Was really into it personally.
But
Yeah, I
almost
agree.
irredeemably evil.
I agree with that
Dangerously-
completely, and I can't
yes,
talk about it without
dangerously,
spoiling
like,
things. But I'm
ooh.
also like, can you explain that part of the movie, please? Question
No,
mark?
there's I'm obviously not gonna spoil anything. That's like the one part of Marvel that I really like.
We're so
so-
sloppy with our spoilers. Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, I have a lot of questions about what they're gonna do
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
going forward. Let's.
We'll be able to talk about it. I'm
Yeah.
sure we'll be talking about it for the next 10 years. So
Yep,
it's
no
fine.
way out.
You know, it's all good.
And then some.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was
I like-
mine. That was my, because that was my double feature. I saw the Odyssey and I saw Spider-Man on the same time.
Oh yeah, how did you like the Odyssey in the end?
Absolutely loved the Odyssey.
Yeah.
I really did. I thought it was amazing. You know, it was such it was so intimate. It just felt like you could adapt that to the stage so easily because, you know, while it had this big epic scope of being, you know, this grand voyage, it was also just about a bunch of people just being weird and doing the best they could and fucked up. And I don't know. I loved Anne Hathaway. Incredible. I didn't love Matt Damon personally in that role. I just feel like
I didn't love Tom Holland.
I feel like Tom Holland got a lot of shit for that role, and I think he did okay. He was meant to be like a scared little boy, and he played a scared little boy. Like
His
I
accent,
kind of bought
I
it.
couldn't deal with it.
But I think
John
it's
Leguizamo. John
Sorry, Tom.
Leguizamo.
Oh my
the
God.
best.
Oh, go.
What the
incredible,
fuck?
incredible.
Like,
Yeah,
I think
incredible.
about, I think about like Russell Crowe.
Don't you dare.
I think about Russell Crowe as the gladiator, and I'm just like, there was a thing in that performance that you could really tap into, like his just kind of emotional state. It was there.
Yeah.
And I never felt that with Matt Damon in this role. He was just kind of Matt Damon. You know what I mean?
I mean, the siren scene is kind of his peak performance, I think, and that's maybe where he's.
Oh, the
his
memes
most
have been
strength.
Memes have been very
unbelievable
good.
of that.
Yeah, they've been
But do you
good.
feel
You know, my
like
only issue, or one of my only, I didn't bring this up when we talked about it last time, is like Nolan fight choreography. I
Never
don't
been.
love
Okay.
Yeah.
historically, and I do feel, and maybe it's like I'm like a action movie snob or something, but the big moment at the end,
Yes.
the slaughter, if you will, I thought it could have been way more awesome
I'm kind of with you.
than it was.
Yeah.
It was still cathartic. It still worked, but I think it could have been like,
Mm-hmm.
I was ready for like some real. There was the one part where he hits a guy who has a shield, and it goes bang, and the shield clatters across the floor, and it just sounds like a real, like they just, that happened by accident.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish there was like more craziness, more violence.
Yeah. No, I really liked it a lot. And
Yeah.
I was just very, very impressed by it. I saw it in IMAX, 70 mil, like all that sort of
As
stuff.
Nolan intended.
Wow.
The
good
intended.
for you.
And yeah, because we have one in Sydney, so we're lucky. You know, it's like
Nice.
why not? I understand there's only like 30 or 40 screens in the States,
Yeah.
right? And you got like 200 million people, whatever. And we've got like one screen in Sydney that services like 6 or 7 million people. And yeah, it's fine. Like, to be fair though, I did have to book like 4 weeks in advance to get a decent seat, you know, because it was completely sold out. And the second run that they've just released is all sold out instantly, you know? So like,
Yep.
yeah, people are going back, man. Movies are back, baby. Movies are
They're
back.
Film's back.
I'm also glad the music has taken off. The score is
I love
incredible.
that music.
And I love that people are just
Beautiful,
like using it and posting it, and
Yeah.
it's great.
I read some of that, the academics' critique of it.
Yes.
Very mean-spirited piece of commentary, by the way. It really could have made her
Yeah.
point much better had she not been so mean about it. Because, yeah, but like, I understand the criticism because obviously this is a very different rendition of it that sort of, we understand this character in a kind of moral context that didn't really exist back then. So I get it, but at the same time, I don't know. I just enjoyed this movie on its own terms and in its own interpretation of that story. And yeah, I really liked it. So definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't.
Hell yeah.
If you can get a seat, if you can get a ticket to an
Yeah.
IMAX, do that.
Yeah. Hey, I was inspired by Spider-Man Brand New Day. I went to my local comic book shop, and the most delightful sight came to me on a shelf, which was a Mega Man Legends comic book.
All right.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. Capcom released this Mega Man Legends Timelines #1
Right.
is what it's
Okay.
called. And it's just a little one shot for Mega Man Legends. But the idea is, and it's a very silly idea, but there is a Met from Mega Man, you know, little yellow helmet guys, right? And it seems like there's one that's jumping between every Mega Man timeline, every version of Mega Man. And so they're making little comic books for all these different Mega Man stories. And I love Mega Man Legends so much. And so to have just like a new little Mega Man Legends story with new, like great Tronbon art, and it seems like it's done really respectfully. It's got the right level of little homages back to that PS1 game. It's like it's a real treat to see it on the shelf, then pick it up and be like, oh, this is made with love, and they know what they're talking about. It's very sweet.
That's cool.
I want to see that. I want to see the art for that. I got to try and pick that up.
Yeah, I recommend
there
it.
is something about those crossovers or like those types of spin-off things that you see in the comic book store and you feel kind of like cynical. You're like, yeah, what is this? Like tie-in crap. I felt that with it was Captain America fights aliens, like the movie Aliens, like the 20th Century Fox Aliens. And it was great. It was actually really good. Like I think there is power in like that type of stuff. So I'm going to get this. What was it called again? Mega Man
Legends Timelines #1.
Timelines #1. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mine was, well, first of all, there's a new Bobby Fingers episode.
The Johnny Depp ad, yeah.
I saw that because I'm subscribed. Thanks to you. Yeah.
I think it's his best one. It was unbelievably good. And H-Bomber Guy has put the Patreon cut of the Adobe video out. 4.5 hours long.
Oh
4.5 hours long.
Oh
Strap
my
in.
God.
I haven't watched it yet, but I got the ping, and I was like, I'm in.
Oh my God, I'm actually not a
to,
patron of him. I'm going to do that just so I can watch that early because I'm not going to wait. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because he said he's still changing a bunch of stuff, obviously, and like doing some final bits on the edit. I didn't realize he had such bad like wrist pain and everything that slowed a lot of things down. But I finished reading Neuromancer finally.
Okay.
Nice. Whoa. Nice.
So I will say, so remember when I had that insane run in January where I read like 6 books?
Of course.
Yeah.
I started this in May. It took me 3 months to finish.
It's fine. It's better than me.
Not any indication on Neuromancer. I think it is a really excellent book, and it is truly laid the groundwork for a lot of sci-fi tropes that we know and love so well. And I think if you play or cyberpunk or know of cyberpunk through Edge Runners, you go back and you're like, that's where they got it from. It's just very chewy prose, and it's one of the, I don't think I felt this since I read A Clockwork Orange, where I felt like I needed the glossary. And so my copy of A Clockwork Orange actually had a glossary in the back, and so whenever he would say something, I would just kind of go back and be like, oh, okay, that's what that means. Didn't necessarily have one for Neuromancer, kind of wish I did. It's very grimy. It's a very grimy, pessimistic look at the future. And honestly, it was written in the 80s. It's 42, I think, years old now. Perhaps it was not wrong to be so pessimistic. There's a lot of stuff in there that you can definitely see related to events happening IRL now in 2026. I think it was wonderful. I'm very intrigued by the TV show. I think Apple has an incredible track record with at least its first series of shows. And I think with something like Neuromancer, the fact that William Gibson is involved gives me hope that it's going to be good. I don't think I'm going to do the other books that he's written sort of in that series, because it's a new Anna and Din mystery time, gang. You're talking about like little detective stories. Robert Jackson Bennett, I think he's putting out one of these every year. And the third one just came out, and I'm super stoked. Basically like a brilliant detective who is so brilliant, like she just can't go outside. She can't deal with everything. Like she just locks herself up and just like thinks about all the evidence and everything. And then she is paired with someone who has been genetically modified, that he can go into a room and immediately capture every single detail. And they work together, and they also live in this world where once a year these giant Leviathan beasts try and like come inland and destroy a bunch of stuff. And so there's all of these machinations between the different government authorities, like some of them who are responsible for keeping the Leviathans at bay, some of them are responsible for like the UDEX are responsible for dealing with like interdepartmental matters, and some of them who are responsible for like using the magic from the Leviathans to upgrade.
This sounds like a Final Fantasy game. I'm sorry.
I know.
And I'm sorry.
It's great. Oh my God. They're so like, they're just like really fun mysteries. And there's like just the right amount of magic and like really great world building. Anna and Din play off each other really, really well, and I love them. And I pushed myself like to finish Neuromancer faster, because I was like, you can't keep putting this off. You've got Anna and Din to get back to.
What are those books called? Anna? What's the series called?
The first one's called The Tainted Cup.
Okay.
And then there's a drop of corruption, and I forget what the new one is called.
Okay.
But it's like
I wish I was
a trade of blood.
Right, okay. I wish I was a book person, like knew when they were coming out, ordered the hard copies, like get it delivered. Like that'd be a great way.
I didn't know. I went to my Barnes and Noble because I didn't realize this one was coming out, but I follow him on Instagram, and then he was like, "Oh, book's coming out."
It's not how Brandon Sanderson does it. He does a weekly podcast, man. He's just out there every week.
Oh my god! Did you see the George R. R. Martin thing?
I did. Poor guy.
No, what?
Oh, that's just sad. He just said basically like he every so often he does little updates about where Winds of Winter is and everything. And there was just this one line where he's like, "All my friends are dying, and the worst is yet to come."
Yeah, it's pretty bleak, man.
Jesus.
I mean, like the man's in his 70s. Just let him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Brandon Sanderson, he'll probably be the one to fucking finish him. He did it for Wheel of Time, so.
Yeah, he probably will be, eh? It's true. Yeah. We'll have him on the podcast one day. When he launches the Mistfall game, he'll come on the podcast for sure.
I did get to interview him for that.
Okay.
Moonbreaker, the game where you play into the miniatures and stuff, the one that the Subnautica devs made.
Yes.
He was very nice.
He seems nice. He does.
He was lovely.
Man, maybe one day I'll read a book again. with all these video games, there's no way, no time for books.
The
Fire
Metal Gear-
Emblem's
Metal Gear
basically a
Solid
book.
novel adaptation.
I have the Japanese versions.
Yeah, nice.
There you go.
Yeah,
how many copies?
For 1 and 2. I just have one for Metal Gear Solid 1 and then one for Metal Gear Solid 2.
Okay.
Have you played the
wait. Wait, no, hang on.
Hang on, this is going to be a big reveal.
Here we go.
He's going to wipe his other Revolver Ocelot toys out of the way
I was
just to
going to say,
get to
he's
the
got
books.
another box of Revolver Ocelots.
No, this is one of my treasures. This is the official novelization of Metal Gear Solid 1.
Nice.
That's thick, man.
That's what I
That's
said,
a
Chris.
smart game.
That was my joke. That's literally the joke that I made.
Yeah, literally. I read books sometimes.
Yeah. Have you played the Metal Gear Solid 1 tabletop game? I've heard good things about it.
No, I haven't. I have it. I just haven't opened it.
I'm sure that's 90% of the people who bought it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
You know,
looks
like
cool on the shelf.
Batman Begins, like bats frighten me. It's tabletop games frighten me.
That's exactly the same. All right, maybe someday.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
man, what a stacked episode.
Yeah.
Huge.
A lot of stuff. Good time to be alive.
And this is
play
quaint. Compared to September, this is child's
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
I mean, next episode we're going to have. We can say I'm actually because the embargo will be up. I can say that I'm playing Wolverine, right? So
you're
I will have
playing
played Wolverine. I can talk about it next episode.
Okay, cool.
And then there's other. You can look. I'll put it this way: you can look at the calendar and you can see.
I'm like, hang on, let me look at the
You
calendar
can
and
look at
see
the
what I
calendar
got
and you
to.
can see that there's lots of games that are coming and we'll be able to talk about them. But I will also say that there are other games that are not on this calendar that we're getting review code, like preview code for, as well. And we'll also be able to talk about those. So it's a really stacked episode the next couple of months really is just nonstop until the end of October, and then everything stops like immediately until GTA, and then that's kind of the year done really. So except Dawn of War just got delayed. The new Dawn of War game just got delayed to 4th of December. Which I'm actually really glad about because I'm like, well, there's nothing else coming out after GTA, so I'd like something to play, you know. So
good call.
yeah, it's
a good palate cleanser for
I think so.
That'll be a good one. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Anyway,
man. All right. Well, Ben, where can the people find you?
Oh, thank you so much for having me. MinMax, 2 N's in honor of Minnesota. Check out our YouTube channel or the MinMax Shows, our weekly podcast. And this coming Monday, the new season of Pew Pew Bang kicks off, which is our women-led podcast. Last year, it won Gaming Podcast of the Year at the Astra Awards in LA.
all right.
It's described as a video game slumber party, and it is with like the 4 women of MinMax, and it's chaotic and very, very fun. And so, yeah, that returns this Monday. Pew Pew Bang. Subscribe or watch on YouTube.
Cool.
Ben, you are the man. You got a great crew. Thanks for being here. You're welcome back anytime, of course.
Definitely.
Everybody else, whatever. You guys are all right.
Fine. Broadly fine.
Yeah, broadly fine. That's us. If you think we're broadly fine, be sure to rate us on your favorite podcast platform. We appreciate it. But for now, thank you very much for listening. We'll see you in the next one. Tie your shoes and go to bed.